Things are quiet now. But you won't believe how quickly the world came apart. The lights in the sky. The fires. The endless cold. Those who've survived have been brought to their knees. On their knees, they'll pray they make it through winter. When I was a doctor, I heard those same prayers. People hoping against hope. I couldn't do anything for them then. I'm not sure I can help them now, but I need to try. I know you're out there somewhere, fighting to survive for another day in a world that's forgotten us. Whatever happens, whatever you do, don't give up. Remember who we were. Don't let this new world break you. And I will see you again.
Well, hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're all having a fabulous Wednesday. Let's get into Long Dark. Let's do it. We are on our 50 days in every zone survival file. We are on day 551 now. We've actually crossed the 550 mark. We're over halfway done in Hush River Valley. I think we have like 13 days left in Hush River Valley at this point. We'll check once we get into the game. And then we'll be off to Broken Railroad. So that's pretty exciting. So let's see here. What are we looking at here in Hush River? 36. So we got 14. I was wrong. 14 days left in Hush River Valley. 14 days left. And we got some hides curing here. We got moose hide. We got that cougar hide almost done. We got some firewood. Got a little bit of foods out here. Actually, we got quite a bit of food out here. We got some bear meat. We got some ptarmigans, a little rabbit, little wolf. We got a few pieces of deer here as well. And then we need to go out and get the rest of the deer that's out there. Because we killed a deer, and we brought most of the food back, but we were unable to get it all. So we do need to go out and get the rest of the deer meat, because we got into a situation where it was getting to be nighttime, and we didn't want that. Is today a work day for me? It's not a work day, but I am going to games tonight with my son, so I got till about 4 o'clock, and then I'm heading off to go pick him up and go to games. And then tomorrow and Friday I have completely off, although tomorrow I do have a dental appointment at 10. But that won't really interrupt later afternoon streaming at all. That'll just be something I'm doing in the morning, as I just have a teeth cleaning tomorrow. So gotta go do that, of course. Gotta get the old teethers cleaned. And then we do have a little rock cache here that's got a bunch of our stuff in it. Got some hides, some rose hips and mushrooms. I'm going to put these arrowheads in there. Put the feathers in there for right now. Put the rest of the rose hips in there. Oh, look at that. We crossed the 600. Crossed 600 rose hips. Nice. Let's drop the sticks back here. How many cougars have we killed at this point? Let's go see. I'm not entirely sure how many we've got. Cougar struggles. Cougars killed 7. We've killed 7 so far. All right, back out to get the rest of this deer. We brought the hides and the guts over. That's what really mattered. Yeah, unfortunately we won't be doing anything with 7 days today. Wasteland mod's going to be a few because we still are on our 2.5 revival survival update. So yeah, Wasteland mod's probably a couple weeks off still. Okay, where is the meat that we left out here? I know we left it out here. Stick. Stick. All right, where? Oh, I think, was it further down this way? It may have been further down this way. But yes, that's the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna try the Wasteland mod out. See, the thing is, I don't really care about it one way or the other because I've never played Fallout, so for me, Fallout's kind of like okay, I guess that's interesting. So for me, the Wasteland mod is kind of like, okay, it'll just be interesting having different sort of things to do. But as far as it being a Fallout mod thing, it doesn't really hold a lot for me because I've never played Fallout. I'm very surface. I have a very surface kind of knowledge of Fallout. I know what Fallout is, but that's about it. But it should be interesting to try for sure. I've seen a little bit of a few people who've played it. I've watched a little bit of their gameplay, but I didn't watch too much because I didn't want to get spoilers, on what's different in the mod. Okay, where the heck is this meat? There it is. Found it. I was like, what the heck is going on right now? Oh, and it's like, oh, it's all. Okay, let's see if we can get a Maglin's fire. Should be fun though, Lazy Medic. I'm excited to try a new mod for sure. Regardless of me being into Fallout or not, it looks interesting. It from the little bit of gameplay I've seen, it looks like fire is an actual thing that can burn stuff down, which should make it interesting. All right, I'll throw all those in there.
Cold's making my head feel thick.
Let's harvest up these meat bags real quick. So yeah, fire's a dynamic thing, which is kind of cool looking, for sure. Genosis just started playing another playthrough of it as well, from what I saw. He's the guy I watched the other day. I like Vari. How you doing? Hello, hello. There's that other gut that I accidentally left out here. Whoopsie. Whoopsie, there's that gut right there. See, you can see it on the ground at the bottom of the screen. Ugh. "28 minutes. We got a couple hours on the fire still. We're just going to chop up all this meat. It's easier to carry the meat over if it's chopped up. It weighs twice as much inside the bags as if you harvest as from where you harvest it. But yeah, Genosis was playing it the other day. He just started up his own series. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to create his own vault. He's gonna like make his own vault underground and defend it and become an overseer, which sounded kind of fun. Kind of a cool idea. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, 9 minutes left. Okay, let's get this one last bag. There we go. Our hands are bloody. The knife is sharp. So we're digging in fast. All right. Got a little bit of animal fat laying around here too. I don't think I need any more animal fat back at the base, to be honest. Actually, we could cook a bunch of those little pieces up and just eat them. I don't have any more sticks, so if this fire gets blown down, we are going to have to boogaloo out of here. Just want to get all this fat out of the way. Which way is going to be easiest way to get out of here? Okay, right there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down the travois here. Get that deployed out. Grab our venison. Throw that in here. Eat you. Well, Glock 9, you know, he tries to keep his videos a certain length, which I totally get, you know. There we go. Pick you up. Throw the gut in here so it doesn't smell. There we go. By the way, anything you put in the travois does not cause a smell factor for you, which is kind of nice. Put all the big pieces over here. Hey, spine chills. I'm just eating down all these little pieces because why not? We're going to cook them up anyway. Another little piece there. Couple big pieces here. It's actually a really nice day out in Long Dark. It's nice and sunny, not a lot of wind. All right, we got 4 more little pieces. Yum, yum. I have an odd question because I'm new to streaming. Can you add your YouTube chat to Twitch chat? You can. If you're an affiliate or a partner, though, part of the agreement that you have is that while you're streaming, YouTube chat will not appear on screen on Twitch. YouTube, technically, as a Twitch affiliate or partner, you are not supposed to stream on multiple platforms at a time. Now, Twitch has loosened the rules on that, but and technically you still are not supposed to, but they've said, okay, we're going to allow you to stream on multiple platforms with no repercussions. But part of the deal is that you're not supposed to show the Twitch chat on the YouTube chat on your Twitch stream, if that makes sense, Mr. Jeff Brooks. And Legend Game Breakers, how you doing? What do you mean you could cook it and eat it? I thought you could only make oil. The fat. The fat. I'm not going to do anything with the fat. I was thinking of these small pieces of meat that I had that I was just cooking. I was just cooking and eating them. I was just cooking and eating those very quickly. So, if you're not an affiliate or a partner on Twitch, Jeff, go ahead, you can put it on there. There's a thing in Restream that will allow you to put your Restream chat, which is a combination of the chats, onto the overlay. But if you are a partner, an affiliate, you kind of take your own chances. They may let you get away with it. They may be, they you know, I don't know how the enforcement of it goes. I don't think they're out there looking for it, but at the same time, you're not technically you're not supposed to. Then again, technically you're not supposed to play music on your channel. And a lot of people play music on their channel. Because of, you know, DMCA and copyright type stuff. You're not supposed to do it. But a lot of people do anyway. And they just don't care. So it all comes down to whether you want to take the risk or not. I want to continue streaming for quite a while, so I choose not to take the risk. Because I don't want to risk my channel, so. But like I said, you know, it all comes down to what you're comfortable doing. Got 58 minutes left. Drink a little water. And it's good to see you too, Jeff. Me for Florida, how you doing? Hello, hello. Welcome on in. Yeah, the wind's starting to pick up now. It's getting a little later in the day too. Those are probably the last couple pieces I'll be able to cook because we don't have a lot of fire left. I'm just going to throw those in the travois. Nope. And we got a blizzard. And we got a blizzard. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's skedaddle. I think I know my way home. Kind of got to go to the left a little bit more. Got to make it around this little ridge because we can't go down into the canyon there. Were we really this close? Are we really there almost already? Okay, that we were a lot closer than I thought if we are. Oh wow, we were that close. Okay, well that was way better than I thought. I thought we were way further away. I thought we were so much further away. Okay.
Can't feel my hands.
Pick that up. Come over here, we'll drop the gut. There we go. We didn't even need the travois. I thought we needed it, but we didn't even have that much meat on us. Let's see if we have any small pieces. Okay, I do have some. I have some raw pieces. So we'll put the raw pieces down here. There's all the cooked pieces. Yeah, we're a little on the chilly side, but that's okay. That's all right.
Freezing.
It is a little cold out. we'll lose a little bit of health for being out here, but, you know, order in your cave is more important than comfort. That's kind of weird. Doesn't want. I think there's a little there's like a weird bump there. Yeah, there's a weird spot there. I don't like that. Not one bit. Why no fire? I'm just lazy and didn't start one. I just got back here and I'm like, well, I'm gonna play with my meat for a little bit and then I'm just gonna go huddle up in the back of the cave anyway. And I don't want to use a match. Mainly clever-sided, I didn't want to use a match. Because we can just come back over here and be all nice and warm. Then we have nothing to worry about. See, look at that. We're all nice and warm back here. Eat that down. That's a little tiny piece of meat. Then we'll eat a big boy. Yeah, I'm busy organizing food. Well, exactly, Janet. We're busy organizing our food. All right, let's throw a couple more mushrooms in there. How many? Actually, I got quite a few teas of both varieties. That's good. All right. Let's see how our cougar hide's doing. Very nice. Let's grab a bottle of water. We'll drink that down. We actually have quite a bit of coal here, which is nice. I need to take some of that with me. Are my clothes dry? I'm pretty sure they are. Oh, yeah. All the clothes are nice and dry. There we go. Put that on. Let's check our condition of our clothing, though. 56, 56, 61, 67, 76, 77. Eh, they're all doing okay. They're all doing okay. I'm not going to repair anything if I can still get it to 100%. We did go ahead and repair our bedroll because it was getting down there. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing? YouTube notification worked for a few weeks now. It's back to not working at all. YouTube actually went down last night. YouTube would not load the homepage for probably a good 30, 40 minutes. Something was going on with YouTube. I'm not sure exactly what. But something was going on with YouTube last night. Like I said, don't know what it was. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of guts under there, don't we? But yeah, YouTube was all squirrely. That storm just does not want to go away, does it? Is there anything in here I want to mess with? I guess I could. I could do up a few mushrooms. I was lucky I was on it, so I stayed on it. Yeah. Yeah, if you were already on it, it was no big deal. But, like, I tried to log on at work just to watch a video or, watch a video or actually listen to a video. But I couldn't get on because it was just, like, not loading. It was very odd. But yeah, YouTube, I guess YouTube was down last night for a little while, and I think X was down a little bit as well. Something was happening on the internet. The internet was all wonky. It was wonky. All right, let's just pass a little more time. I don't know if we can outlast the storm or not. Oh, there we go. Now the storm went away. Thank goodness. That thing was annoying. Okay. Go ahead and get a little sleep here. We've got about 13 days now left. Actually, I'm curious. How many days do we have right now before we go to bed? We've got 36, so we got 14 right now. I'm just curious if we're changing the day in the middle of the night. I don't think we are, but we'll see when we get up. If we have 14 when we get up, then we know that the day hasn't switched over yet. Okay, day is switched over, so we have 13. So our last day here, we'll be able to sleep and then leave in the morning.
That guy who drank his own
That's
tea
perfect.
Seems so crazy.
That is
right now.
absolutely perfect. Eat that down, and then let's eat a piece of fresh moose meat. Hey, look, we got our stalker pie, and we have another prepper's pie, which we'll take with us when we go. Actually, I'm just gonna take that now, because why not? All right, I think we load up some stuff. We're at 37 kilos right now. I heard something. I don't know what it was. Drink a little water. Our cougar pelt is probably close to being done. 999%. 999. Okay, let's grab our fur. Do I want to take the cedar, or do I want to take some of the stuff that's in here? I think I want to take a few of the things in here. We're going to take our arrowheads, our feathers. I don't need the extra pry bar. Take a couple of our guts, a rabbit hide, a couple deer hides. Let's take our leather up with us. Take our sewing kits. Let's see, I have it 4152. 42, 43, 44. That'll give us a little bit of food up top as well. All right, we're gonna head up to the cave, or up to the prepper's cache, the prepper's bunker. There's another deer over here. I think we have enough deer hides now, so I think people were able to get on with some devices, but not others. But that's what they would say in chat. I was in. Okay. Maybe it was an iPhone thing. Who knows? Because that's what I have is an iPhone. So maybe iPhones were just unable to get on YouTube last night for some reason. I don't know. I've got a little bit of a cough, but I haven't been coughing too much today, thank goodness. I usually try to mute if I cough too loud. If I'm just doing a little, just a little one like that, it's no big deal. But if I got a really cough, then I try to mute it. If I do a little, I don't mute it then. So. It might be my character. Maybe my character has a cough. He may have a cold coming on. Nope, got to go down further. I thought I was down far enough, but I'm not. Dude, my nose looks like Will and Astrid's. Been dealing with this crud since Sunday. Oh, man, it's bad. It's bad. It wears you out, and then you get a cough, and you're just kind of hacking and coughing up like phlegm and stuff. I know it's gross, but you're hacking and coughing up like stuff, and it's like, oh.
Can't feel my feet.
It's so annoying. So annoying. Put on my little spiky spikes. I cough sometimes bad enough that not only would I mute the mic, I have to get off screen. Oh yeah, sometimes it's bad. Oh no, I didn't grab a drink. I'm going to stop on this ledge up here and then go grab a drink real quick while we recover our stamina. I failed. I failed, boys and girls. Failed. I'm an awful Hey, look at the rocks falling. All right, I'm going to go grab a drink real quick.
So cold. Just want to lay down for a bit.
Last night, Pizza Hut was the vendor at work, so I got a little personal pan pizza last night, which was very nice. It's very nice. It was just a sausage pizza, but hey, it was good. Alrighty. The main I have a couple main bases in my area, Lazy Medic. I have the cave there on Stair Steps Lakes. And then I have my base up here at the Lonely Cave. Well, at the prepper cache by the Lonely Cave. That's sort of where I'm setting up for to spend the last few days, because we're going to be leaving from there to go to Broken Railroad. I don't think the wolf will respawn here yet because we killed him when we were up here last time. Let's go inside the cave here real quick. Oh, we do have a couple pieces of meat here. Very nice. So we got a little. We're building up some food up here. We didn't really have a lot of food up here, so we need to build some up. I do have a little bit of water too. I'm gonna take the water with me. Let's get warmed up real quick. There we go. That's a piece of animal fat. But yeah, the crud sticks around for a while. It makes you cough for a little bit.
Leave something behind.
I mean, finally I'm over it as far as like feeling exhausted and tired and kind of out of it, but I still got a little bit of the cough every once in a while that I just have to, you know, have to deal with. Just stay hydrated, Bavella. That's the most important thing. Keep yourself nice and hydrated. You need your hydration, my man. Hydration is the most important thing. Oh. I was like, I heard a noise from the other room, and it's somebody's laundry in the washer on the spin cycle. It's going dum 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 dum. They have an uneven load. So yeah, today we're just doing Long Dark. Long Dark's all we're doing today for like the next, let's see, 3 hours now. So yeah, for about the next 3 hours, we're just doing Long Dark today. Tomorrow we'll do some Long Dark and some 7 Days to Die. Friday we're doing Long Dark, and we'll be doing some Star Rupture. So I want to play a little more Star Rupture. Had a lot of fun with that. It's sort of a building kind of game on a distant planet. It's kind of cool. And then Saturday we're gonna play a little more Mugenics as well. And then Sunday we're gonna be leaving 4546B. Maybe. I think we're gonna be leaving 4546B. And we'll be finishing up our run on Subnautica. Have I tried Satisfactory? I have not played Satisfactory. I've watched a little bit of it. It gets a little bit too... And I have a feeling Star Rupture is going to get the same way. Those kind of games for me, Yait, they are fun in the beginning when you're first making your factories. But after a while, they get so convoluted. And I just don't have the patience for it. I honestly just don't have the patience for it. They start annoying me after a while. Because it just basically just, it's, you know, it's fun for a while, but it's sort of like, I played like Oxygen Not Included for a little while, but eventually it got to the point where for me, it was just overwhelming. And that's mainly because I'm just not that smart. It's just overwhelming for me. And so I just stopped playing. Oh, I forgot we had pancakes up here too. We got pancakes up here. Yes.
Never felt so cold in my life.
But I'm enjoying Star Rupture so far. It's kind of got a cool aesthetic to it and stuff. So, something like 7 Days to Die has enough crafting that I'm interested, but it doesn't overwhelm me with my eye. I think it may also just be because of the it overwhelms you with options. Like there's just so many options of what you can do that I get a little overwhelmed by it. All right, we'll drop you there. I'll drop a little bit of coal here. There we go. So this is our beautiful little setup we have here. We got our nice little bear hide bed. We've got our little case here full of stuff. I'm gonna throw my arrowheads and my feathers in here. And let's see. I have some extra hide. I'm gonna throw that hide in here. Couple of guts. Couple more leather. It's almost full. We need to go get more fur is what we need to go get. Because we have no room left in this thing. No room at all. And then we got our little table back here with our pry bars, a heavy hammer, a few cooking ingredients on it, our quality tools. Let's drop a deer hide here. There we go. Good Lord. And then we'll drop another deer hide here. There we go. Can I put the deer hide down, or do I just have to leave it there where I just have to leave it there where I dropped it? I can't put it down under there because the wood's covering it. Actually, I could just pick this wood up. Just got the DLC recently made Travois. Is it even worth it? I like the Travois for mainly I use the Travois to carry items from one place to another. Like it's mainly for me anyway. It's like if I kill a moose or a bear, I can easily transport the meat from one place to another. That's mainly what it's good for me anyway. Yeah, last time I was trying to fit the... Oh, and I have a wolf hide on the wall, too. I could put a deer hide on the wall. That's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's get our broom. Place our broom down here. Actually, I'll put the broom right there. Pick up the hide. Oh, pick up the hide. Oh, nope. We need to turn that off. Then pick up the hide. Put the hide right on the broom, just like... Oh, can I not get it on the broom? Just like that. There we go. Pick it up with the broom like that. Turn it around. Snag my broom back. I like it. And then we got to turn off the creative mode. Get this hide on the broom as well. Oh. Can I not put it on? I can't put it on the broom right here. Okay. I got to get the broom into a better spot. There we go. Still not good enough. Okay. There we go. Take that. There we go. We got hides all over the walls. Beautiful. Does meat smell while in the Travois? No. Guts and meat do not smell while you're carrying them in the Travois. That is probably the best thing about the Travois, is the guts and the hides the guts and the meat don't smell. So if you have the Travois, what you'll want to do, sort of the strategy with the Travois, is to put all the smelly stuff inside of it, and then carry it back to your base. Now, if you have a travois, the other thing you want to make sure you do, let's deploy it real quick. Let's get our bow out. So let's just put our knife in there just for giggles. Okay, so if you have your travois, you want to have your bow out, because then if you pick the travois up and say you're walking around, you're going do, and a wolf comes, you can drop the travois and you instantly have your bow back out again. So as long as you have your bow out when you pick the travois up, you'll have your bow back when you drop the travois to face whatever you're going to face. So that's sort of the plan. That's sort of the plan and the strategy with it. Unfortunately, when you have the travois or you use the travois, you cannot carry a lit torch. If you're carrying a lit torch and you pick up the travois, it'll put the torch out. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. So it doesn't tuck your. I wish the travois had some sort of thing that you could attach the torch or a lantern to. That would, sort of like if you were carrying a lantern or a torch and you pick a travois up, you technically still have it out, and it, and it would you basically attached it to the travois, and so you still have light. But unfortunately, we'll probably need a mod for that. Hey Anna, how you doing? Hello. I wanted to see if I could find some fur out here. I am getting a little hungry. Oh, I didn't leave my water behind. Oh man, I meant to leave water back there. We got lots of cattails, so I'm just eating them. It helps keep our vitamin C up as well by eating the cattails.
Something's making me feel tired.
Probably because we're tired. Just want to see if we can find any fur out here. I need at least one more fur. I want to make another chest for our house. So we need more fur. We need it because we know what is good fur. I don't see any fur up here, and it feels like a storm's coming on. I may be wrong, but it feels like a storm is coming. The sky is getting a little cloudy. It's getting a little foggy. The wind is picking up.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
It feels like we're going to get a blizzard. We may just want to go in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go in and rest for a couple hours because we're super duper tired. And I don't want to get stuck out here when a storm hits. So we'll go in the cave, sleep for a few hours. Actually, see, I don't know if those ice caves count as part of Hush River Valley or not. I honestly don't know if they do. So I think I'll go down here to the other cave,
Freezing,
and chill out in it for an hour or two. We'll take a little frozy damage, but that's okay. Because I know, the cave in Forlorn Muskeg that goes from Hat Creek up to Marsh Ridge does not count as part of Hush River Valley, as part of Forlorn Muskeg. I mean, it's in Forlorn Muskeg, but it doesn't count. Off now. All right, Ajit. Thank you for coming by. Take care, my friend. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, the weather actually seems to be clearing up. Okay. No blizzard. I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Just windy, nasty weather. I cut a path. through that. That usually is blocked off. You can't get back out that way. All right, we'll get up to the cave here. We'll chill out in the cave, because I know this cave counts as Hush River Valley, no problem at all. Okay, I was thinking a blizzard, but the wind's calmed down. I think we're gonna be okay. Oh, is there some coal in here too? Piece of fat. Oh yeah, there's a couple pieces of coal back here. Oh yeah, the coal is actually respawned in here, which is nice. We've been here long enough that the coal is respawned for us. All right, let's get our bedroll down. Let's get like 4 hours of sleep. We'll sleep just for a little bit. It's still early in the day. The only reason we're really tired is we climbed that rope, and the climbing the rope kind of exhausted us. All right, so we got that. Let's get a little water in our belly. Get in my belly. All right, water in the belly. And we'll go check for some fur over here, see if there's any fur that's fallen down. I see a cedar over there. And a bunch of sticks. We'll pick those up, because they're sticks. See that cedar there, cedar there. Oh, I missed these mushrooms. I missed some mushrooms, my friends. I see no fur. All I see is cedar. And a snow shelter. Wait a second. I thought this snow shelter was ruined last time we were here. I swear to God this snow shelter was ruined the last time we came around. I'm so confused right now. I swear it was ruined last time we were here. That is so weird. What is the game doing? What is the game doing? Okay. Is the game tripping? Am I just tripping? I could have sworn when we climbed, I think we climbed up that rope there, and I swear that thing was ruined. Well, we got a cedar here, so we're just gonna take it. Because why not? I guess we'll just kind of sleep here. Maybe it was a different one. It might have been. I mean, I don't know. There's not usually many that are right by a the smoke signal, so it may have been a different one. It may have. I may just be hallucinating. Yeah, we're just gonna eat down all these cattails. Yeah, you're right. It is free cloth. I should look at that. Hold on a second. It is free cloth, isn't it? If I dismantle it, I get 2 cloth. Yeah, we're gonna dismantle it. We'll go sleep in the cave. We'll go sleep in the cave. Ratcha, that was genius. Genius idea. Genius. Yeah, 2 more cloth. And cloth in Hush River Valley. That is a rare commodity in Hush River Valley. Really, the only cloth you get in HRV is stuff that you gather usually from clothing that you then rip apart. All right, well, back into the cave. Put down our bedroll. There we go. Feed a few more of yous. Well, we didn't find ourselves a fir, but we did find a cedar, so we might as well take a little cedar. Why not? Why not? Now, do I have any teas I can drink? Because that can give me some vitamin C as well. I do have a couple teas. That's some good vitamin C. We'll drink these down a little bitty bites. There we go. 1 down. 2 down. Beautiful. That also filled us up on food. All right, let's drink some water. We are ready. We are ready to get some rest. Let's take it off of weight. There we go. Get a little sleep in here. Yeah, Ratch. Yeah, that was genius. I love your thinking there. I didn't even think about that. It was like, oh, when she said it was like, wow, wow. I'm just stunned. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. I didn't think about it myself. But hey, that's cool. I can't think of everything. I figure we'll fix up some of these clothing items since we got a little extra cloth now. Once we get to Broken Railroad, we'll have plenty of cloth, but I usually don't want to over repair for the most part, but we've got some extra cloth right now, so why not repair up our few items we got? We might as well. I am going to repair that up. We have extra leather, so we're just going to repair that up too. We're almost to mending 5 as well. Let's see how close we are to mending 5. Oh, we have mending 5. Never mind. We're almost close to ice fishing 5. That's the one. That's the last one we need is ice fishing 5. And we'll hopefully get that in. We'll hopefully get that in Forsaken Airfield, because we're gonna do a bunch of fishing in Forsaken Airfield. Full shizzle. It's Miss Janet if you're nasty. All right, let's go see if we can find some more fur. Actually, let's eat down our last couple cattails. And drink a little water. All right. Come on, fur. How many do I need anyway for that? The rustic storage trunk. I need 9 fur. Need 9 fur. Miss is fine. Or Jan is perfectly fine. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Come on, fur. There has to be like 1 fur laying around here, right? I probably have to drop down into the valley to get fur. It would be my guess. I have to drop down. Probably there's not going to be any up here. It's just gonna go no. I'm gonna pick up the sticks though because they're free. And you know me, I can't pass up a good stick. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Oh, look at all these beautiful sticks just laying around. It's like somebody knew I was coming. Somebody knew I was coming. Ah, it's 2 cedars. Should I just grab the? I think I'm just gonna grab the cedar. I think we'll build a fire right between, and we'll get the cedar. We could build it. We could build another cedar chest. I'm not doing too bad. I get a little bit of stuff in my throat every once in a while that just makes me cough. But hey, what can you do? I can use my hacksaw. That's what I can do. Takes a little longer, but the hacksaw is easy to fix. It got foggy all of a sudden. Now I should have enough cedar now to make another cedar chest.
Drop any of this gear.
Yeah, I got enough. You only need 8, and I got 9. So yeah, we can make another These only hold 15, and these hold like 35. So that's the only reason you really want to make those instead. Do I have any torches on me? I got a pretty decent torch on me. I don't think we need another torch. I'm going to sharpen you up real quick. I only got one whetstone left right now, so I'm being rather conservative in using my knife and my hatchet because I don't want to have to repair them up too often. Okay. Well, let's just go. Actually, you know what? We'll take a lit torch with us, because that way if we... Oh, that's not a good torch. Yeah, we'll take a lit torch with us. That way, if we find another cedar, we can just go ahead and, you know, harvest it up. I'd love to play this game in, like, peaceful mode type thing to get to know the maps, but I'd like to be able to kill some animals and they run. Yeah, unfortunately in Pilgrim, they all run from you. Pilgrim kind of is the peaceful mode, but unfortunately the animals run from you a lot. It's kind of sad. Hey, Uthgar, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a long while. Hope you're having a good day. Get a little fire. We'll take one more cedar here. We might as well, since it's foggy right now and we can't do anything else anyway. Let's throw a couple more sticks on there. That should be warm enough for us. Even if it's not that cold. Okay, it's going to be an hour and 30 minutes, so we do need to add a few more sticks to it. That should be plenty, because we got good fire-making skill. And we're even warming up. I do need to get back over to the house, though, and grab some food, because I am very, 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 very hungry. I'm doing all right, Sally. You had the long dark on, and it's been a while. It has. It has. We've been playing a bunch of different stuff, though, lately. We tried out that new Mugenics game, and I really had fun with it. It's a fun little game. It actually truly is. I'm finally starting to figure out what you want to do in it. You want to get those cats mutated. You want to get the mutated cats going on, because it makes them more powerful. And then, do I have my Travois? Yes, I do have the Travois. I do. But we've been playing that, Long Dark, 7 Days to Die. I'm taking my Expedition 33 gameplay offline. I'm still going to finish the game, and I'm going to post it on YouTube, but I'm not really going to play it on live stream anymore, because nobody nobody ever wants to watch it, really. I mean, there are a few people who want to watch it, but they can watch it on YouTube later on, I guess. But it's just not... I just don't have enough time to live stream everything. And then we played a little bit of Star Rupture. That finally came out in early access, and that was pretty fun. We're going to try a little bit of that again on Friday. And then we've been doing our yearly Subnautica run as well. So we've been doing our yearly Subnautica run. We're almost finished up with Subnautica. We just cured ourselves of the plague last session. And now we need to build a platform and a rocket to get off the planet. So, good times. I think also once Subnautica 2 looks like it's going to drop, I'll probably play Subnautica right before Subnautica 2. Because I do want to play Subnautica 2. Even barring the sort of the drama that's gone on at the company with them letting the creators of Subnautica go and sort of the scandal and stuff that's around that. Yeah. I still am interested. Hey, Ath, I tried to pet the kitty in my misery run and went really bad. Hey, but at least you got another mauling from the cat, because that's something you have to do. You have to get mauled, what, 50 times or 35 times or something? Hey, you know what? It's breakfast time. Let's eat our pancakes. Yum, yum. Pancake time. And we'll eat a little moose meat, too. Where are we headed after HRV? We're headed to Broken Railroad. It used to be the Brokey Broke Zone. It's the Brokey Broke Zone. That's where we're headed.
Too much stuff to carry.
All right, we got that. Let's make our... Oops. Nope. Let's grab our woodworking tools. Get over here to our workbench. Storage box, 6 hours. I don't think... we may not have 6 hours. We may not have enough time to build it. Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers for Subnautica, too, as well. We made it. Look at that. Look at that. Put another box right there. There we go. All right, out of this box, since this box is full now, actually, let's drink a little water first. But yep, Broken Railroad is the next goal for us. All right, let's grab out our cloth. Let's grab out a couple. Let's grab out all our leather. We'll take all of our repair stuff out of here. There we go. Oh, and I guess the ptarmigan down counts. We'll leave that stuff in here. We also got our metal. Got some matches in here. All right, and then we'll put all of our hides over here. Put our guts in there. I do need to bring some more guts up. Put 24 of those in there. Put 7 of that in there. I'll put 5 more. That'll lower us by another ½ kilo. Put a couple sewing kits in there. And I already showed it off to you, but this is our little base we have here. It's very nice. I'm gonna drop the cedar over here. And we'll drop a few more sticks behind the ladder because we got 31 of them. There we go. There's our little house. It's all nice. Where am I going to make my base in Broken Railroad? Oh, at the maintenance yard. I usually base at the maintenance yard there. I mean, I like the hunter. Let's put it this way: the maintenance yard is the plan. The one thing that could possibly change that is if the moose is spawning up at the hunting lodge. If the moose spawns at the hunting lodge, we'll probably spend a bunch of time up there because we'll have a lot of food and stuff up there. If the moose spawns down below, we'll probably base up at the maintenance yard and bring all the moose meat there, kill the bear and bring all of his meat there, and that sort of stuff. It ended the run, but I got the achievement, and that's what I was. That was what you wanted. Oh, nice, very nice. All right, let's get some sleep. But yeah, the maintenance yard will be the main base, and then we may go. I mean, we'll spend some time up at the hunting lodge anyway. Just kind of breaking stuff down. The really cool thing with the hunting lodge is there's a lot of like fuel and stuff at the hunting lodge, a lot of reclaimed wood. So we may just spend time doing that. You gonna clean up the nasty maintenance shed? We'll clean it up a little bit, yeah. We'll spend a little time cleaning it up. Let's drop the woodworking tool here. There we go. Oh, my hacksaw is in really, really bad shape. Let's get that fixed up. You can only get 20% repair off on your hacksaw each time, so you don't want to get down too low. Yeah, we'll repair it to full. Actually, I'm probably getting more repair off of it now than I was before, because our skill is better. Like 10 dining chairs in the basement. Yeah, there's so much reclaimed wood in there. Misery's no fun. Yeah, misery's not a whole lot of fun. I just want to get the achievement myself. Well, after we get done with this run of 1,000 days in Interloper, we are gonna do another misery run just to get the achievement. That's the whole goal of it. And once I get the achievement, I will probably never play misery again, which is sad. But you know, I've gone over that many times. Let's see. What do you have in you, Rosehip? What do you have in you? Cup of coffee, birch bark tea. I'm gonna move the birch bark in front of the coffee. And there's my Reshi tea. Okay. Yeah, let's put a few of you in here. There we go. And let's put a few of you in here. There we go. So we've got 64 mushroom teas in here now. 64. And rosehip teas, we got 55. So we've got a few things there. All right. Let's put our stuff away here. Well, they're itty bitty teas, yeah. They are itty bitty teas, but they're still teas. They still will heal me, so that's all that matters. All that matters in the long run is they'll still heal me. I do not need to fix my rabbit gloves right now, so I'm just gonna leave the gut and the hide here. There we go. I like itty bitty teas. Drop those down. I'll leave the coal here as well, because I got more coal back in the cave. So I'm just gonna drop all this coal here, just cause. And I will drop the tinder plugs as well, but I'll do that outside. I am gonna eat one piece of wolf meat. I just don't want to get too hungry. My bow's at 16%. My late response, but I'm excited to watch your misery run. I know you don't love it, but I love watching the run. So many different ways to roll it. Yeah, well, you know, for me, Rumblebug, I'm not going for anything beyond the 57 days. So we're gonna play it completely unconventionally. I'm not gonna do anything conventional in it. I know how we should play it for longevity, but we aren't gonna do that. We're gonna take risks. We're gonna go have fun with it. Heinz 57, yep, the Heinz 57 days. But yeah, we're just gonna have fun with it. We're gonna roll through and just do whatever the hell we want. I think on my run, what I'll try to do is I'll try to rush all the bunkers. See if I can get the prepper pie recipe early. That'd be kind of cool. And then we also want to do a forge run. We'll do a little forge run. We'll do a prepper pie recipe run. All that good stuff. Should be fun. Should be good times. Do I really want to go this way, or do I want to go this way? I want to go this way. I want to go this way. This is the way I want to go. And down we go. Don't breathe heavy, Will. You'll fall. You'll fall if you breathe too heavy, bro. I just wish. I think misery would be 1,000% more fun if you had a way, no matter how difficult it would be, but if there was a way to temporarily heal the afflictions. I think it would be just 100% better game. 100% better mode of gameplay. If you had some temporary way to heal the afflictions. Like there were certain things that would bring them on, and there would be certain things that would stop them, or make them less, or sort of like cure them for a while. I think it'd be so much more fun. And maybe the modders will do something about that later on. But that's the thing, for an endless gameplay mode, there should be a way to cure what ails you. It shouldn't just be a permanent, you got this forever. Now, I sort of get it with Frostbite. Frostbite is one of those afflictions that's like, okay, well, unfortunately we got it, and now we're going to have it forever. But it's more of like a small debilitation that affects you a little bit instead of something that majorly affects your entire gameplay. Oh yeah, it totally. That's been my argument all along, Rumblebug, is that it should have been a challenge mode instead of a survival gameplay mode. It very much lends itself great to a challenge. Kind of like Honey in 7 Days, something like that, yeah. Kind of like that. But yeah, it definitely lends itself way better to a challenge. Can I chop holes in this ice here anywhere? I've never really checked. Nah, it doesn't look like it's deep enough here. Nope. Stair Steps Lake is not deep enough. I was thinking maybe out here in the middle where it's not, like, completely white. But nah, Monolith Lake's the only one. But at least you can fish on Monolith Lake. I mean, figured I'd check one more time there just to see. Nope. Okay. Hey, it was worth a shot, Well, and see, that's the thing, Jeff, is that misery mode feels like a revenge mode on the developer's part. It really does. It's like, oh well, there's a few very loud voices on Twitter or on X and on message boards who are saying the game's too easy to play. So screw you. We're gonna make something that's so difficult nobody can do it. Well, and then there's then there's a guy who lived for 1,000 days in misery. So it's like, how'd that work out? I mean, As the Dead Sleep was supposed to be that gameplay mode first. And then, As the Dead Sleep, it's not a joke mode for sure. Most people will not live for, 20 days in As the Dead Sleep. But experienced Long Dark players will. And that's just a fact. That's just, you can't make, you can only make something that's hard to live in. It'll only be so hard to live in, and then eventually people will figure out a way to get through it. That's just, people do that. People overcome obstacles like that all the time. It's what we do. So, I like to see a challenge mode where nothing respawns except maybe sticks. Yeah, so something like a Dead World type mode, but you get initial spawns, but nothing ever respawns. That would be kind of cool. That would be very cool, Phil. If you could get you got the initial bears, the initial moose, but it's a one-time spawn only. So you do get you could get a little bit of animal clothing and stuff, but it wouldn't last for very long. That would be very, very interesting. I would be down for something like that. I don't know how they'd program that in, but I'd be totally down for that. That'd be cool. Ooh. That'd be cool. Long Dark Adventure, Vanilla Interloper going to goat down from the summit like many times before. Only dense fog, get lost, 2 serious falls, 20% health and freezing, miracle, actually find. Eventually you'll run out of food. Yeah, well, unless they, I guess unless the birch. Well, I guess you're saying birch bark wouldn't respawn either. So I guess you would eventually run out of food. Because technically, as long as birch bark is respawning, you can always get it. You can always get birch bark and do it that way. Hey, Nana, how you doing? Well, Paul, it sounds like you had quite the adventure there.
I need to find some place to
Falling
escape
and
this cold.
recovering and falling and recovering. I remember when the summit was like the most dangerous place in the game. Hello, Mr. Deer. Run! Run from me! Run from me. I'm trying to find some more fur. I need to find some fur around here. Hey, there's a fur. There's a fur just sitting by the roadside. Hey, there's a birch. There's a maple over there. Oh no, that's a birch. There's a birch over here. How did I miss that?
Cold to think.
Even dark. Even dark lasted 1,000 days in misery mode. And he quit at that point because he was just bored. He was bored out of his mind because basically towards past the 57th day, he pretty much was just sitting there in Coastal Highway, fishing, gathering wood, and doing more fishing. Because there really was not that much to do. Can I get a mag lens fire? Heck yeah, let's go. Let's go. 0 respawns also means you have to keep moving as you exhaust each region. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Come on. Fire's life out here.
Fire is life. Let's throw a piece of coal on there. There we go. Now get us nice and warm. We use our hacksaw. And then my fire went right out. And the fire went right out. Of course it did.
Freezing.
And there's another fur right there. I want to get it, but I don't know. I don't know if I can. Hey, I got a fire striker. We might as well use it every once in a while, right?
Come on. Come on.
I guess we can just make a little water while we sit here. There we go. Get it boiled up. Throw another, let's throw a couple sticks on there. There we go. But yeah, even Dark did the 100 days. Or 1,000 days in it. It really, though, once he got past the first 57 days, it was just a lot of the same stuff. Because you have to be very methodical doing the challenge. There we go. Oh, it's actually nice out now. It's actually nice out now. Okay. Because there really isn't a lot of room for mistakes. You can heal yourself with some of the food items, which I'm sure is a complete... I'm sure that Hinterland did not intend you to be able to heal yourself with food items. I can almost guarantee it. It's one of those things that slipped through the cracks when they were developing the gameplay mode. Because you can't use birch bark tea, you cannot use stems, you can't use any of that stuff at all. So I have a feeling they did not intend for you to be able to heal anything, and they screwed up. We'll drink that down for a little bitty bite. There we go. These mushroom teas are giving us a lot of good vitamin C as well. It's actually warm out right now. All right, there we got enough fur. We got enough fur to make a chest now if we want to.
Might have to drop some gear.
Let's go ahead and get our bow out, just in case we run into Mr. Wolfie Boy. It could happen. We'll grab a few more sticks here. Because they're sticks, why not? I want to try doing something like Faithful Cartographer and Misery and without bugs with pies. I can see how that can be done. I mean, if you want to be really careful about it, you can easily. I mean, you can play without using the pies. It's just very, misery mode is meant to be a killer mode. And I really do wish they had just set it up as a challenge. It would have been such a fun challenge. Maybe have like a 57-day badge and a 100-day badge. Like, have two different challenge badges for it would have been really cool. Now, they do have the 57-day achievement that you can get in it, but that's about it. That is about it. Check how many days we have left here in Hush River Valley. It's not that many days. It's not that many at this point at all. We're very close to the end. We will eat our stalker pie before we go. We will eat the stalker pie before we go. That'll be one of the things we do. Got 10 fur, beautiful. Drop some more sticks here. We have like 150 sticks here now. I'll grab one stick so I can start a fire with it. Got a cured cougar hide. Bear hide's 50-some% cured. We got some cured guts under here too. Let's see, cured. Okay, I'm just gonna pick them all up. We'll drop them over here. There we go. Oh, I think the afflictions in misery mode are great. And I think, like I said before, if you could cure, if there was some way to cure the afflictions, or at least hold, not even cure them, but just make them so they don't have effect for a while, I think misery mode would have been a lot more fun. I think it would be fun to have those afflictions in regular gameplay mode, to be honest. If there was a way to cure them, I think that would be great. I think that would be a very interesting thing to throw at players. As it is, they're just kind of boring, since you can't do anything about them. All right, let's prepare up our mushroom. A ledge where I can make fire and sleep. Blizzard blows it out. 2 stems later, I stumble into a cave with 2% health. Yeah. It's times like those, Paul, that make you just love this game. I still to this day remember way long time ago, I spawned in Forlorn Muskeg, and I found some matches. Or no, I didn't find matches. I didn't find matches right away because I didn't go over to the Spence family homestead. I got my flare, No, yeah, I got my flare in the poacher's camp, and I walked all the way to Mystery Lake, and I stumbled into the Mystery Lake camp office at like 1% health. I literally had like no health left at all. I was stumbling, going back and forth, almost died. It was awesome. Have you played Escape the Pacific recently? I have not, actually, no. After we get done, that's part of my plan, Nana Plays, is after we get done with Subnautica Sunday, I want to start playing some Escape the Pacific again. I haven't played it in a long time, and I know they've updated it a bunch, so I want to get back into it and see how it is. Have you played it recently? Is it pretty? Have they improved some stuff? Because that'd be kind of cool to see. Hey, Not Too Shabby just rated us up with 6 viewers. Thank you so much for the raid there. I appreciate that very much. I hope you are having a fabulous day. Give you a little proper shout out there. Everybody go over and check out Not Too Shabby. Right up there. Click the link below. Give them some love.
It's the worst kind of word.
I'll throw the link up there on the YouTube side as well. You did a few days ago? Okay, all right. Just got a moose in the lower area of HRV. A hard-earned one. Oh, the moose in the lower area is such a pain. And the biggest thing I hate about the moose in the lower area, Not Too Shabby, is that you then have, if you want to get the meat and stuff out of there, then you have to carry it up ropes. They have more islands now and clusters. That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Very cool. And you got to get the hide out of there, which weighs 5 freaking kilos. See, I'm not a big fan of the moose down below. I actually got my moose by the Stair Steps Lake. He was right out in Stair Steps as we came into it. It was like, hello, Mr. Moose. How are you today? All right, there's all that. We have 603 rose hips. 6 kilos of rose hips just sitting in there. Yeah, we'll save those later for some pelican bars.
It's gonna get a lot colder soon.
It's gonna get a lot colder soon. Okay. Yeah, we're pretty tired. It's almost nighttime. Give ourselves a little pastime back here. Check how many days we got left in this zone. I think we have maybe like 10 at this point.
I just need to close my eyes.
We got 39 days. Tomorrow morning it should be 40. Tomorrow morning it should be 40 days. Use about half our calories tonight when we sleep. I think I'll eat that pie tomorrow. It's like 2,000 calories. We won't be able to eat the whole thing. We've survived 555 days, boys and girls. Let's eat the stalker pie.
Thank goodness. Made it through another night.
I don't know if stalker pie dehydrates you or not, so we're just gonna eat it down. There we go. See, we couldn't even eat the whole thing. We couldn't even eat the whole thing. Drink some water. Yeah, we got a couple rose hips here and there. Got a couple. Those are all rose hips from this zone too. That's 600 rose hips just from this zone. Because we didn't bring any with us. We didn't bring any rose hips here with us. So we've got that many rose hips just from exploring this zone. The 603. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? That's 25 rose hip teas we could make just out of those. 25 rose hip teas worth of rose hips in this zone. And I'm pretty sure at this point we've got all the rose hips. All right, let's check our days. We're now at 40 days. We got 10 days left. 10 days left. I'm counting down 41 days till episode 5 comes out. That's all I'm caring about for the most part. Hey, there you go. We will play episode 5 when it comes out. for sure. We'll check it out. I wish we could create a silver gray wolfskin coat from Timberwolves. I just wish we could create anything from Timberwolves. Completed 1,000 days on Loper, no feats over the weekend. First time ever. Nice. Very nice piece, dog. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, we're going for 1,000 days on this run, too. Alrighty. Let's see. What matches we got? 12. We got 22 on us. We got a box of 24. Got a box of 24 in the prepper cache over there. All right, let's grab our fur. All right, oh yeah, because we have the burden thing, don't we? I was like, why am I overweight? How long does that last? That'll last another 27 minutes. Let's just sleep it off. There we go. Now we're not burdened anymore. Screw you, game. I'm not burdened. Moose down below into my longest run. My longest Loper day 158. I was one rose hip short for treatment and couldn't heal broken ribs, so no rope climbing. That sucks. That's why when you go down below there, down into that area, you always want to take a stim with you, because if you have a stim, you can even climb with broken ribs. The stim does override it. So you will always want to take a stim with you if you go down into that lower area to hunt the moose, because even if you don't have the medicine, then you can get out. So. But yeah, that sucks if you're stuck down there and you can't heal it. Really sucks. All right, over to the rope we go. Hi-ho, hi-ho. I'm chilling with this music. Kato featuring John. I have no idea who either of those people are. I have no idea who they are. Hum me a few bars. Maybe I'll know it. I can't name that tune in 5 notes or less. This feels bad coming on. Does not feel good. It's one guy.
Can't feel my feet.
That meme song? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know from memes. I don't know from memes. Yeah, you're talking to the wrong dude. My son laughs at me because I have no sense of what memes are. I don't go in for the memes. Hey, look at that. We climbed up this whole rope on one go. One go. That's how awesome we are. First time I saw a moose when I was episode 4, I didn't know it was dangerous when I tried to pet it. Yeah, people actually do that in real life, too. They try to pet the moose in real life. Old Man River don't know no memes. You just dated yourself with that game show reference. I'm always dating. I'm always dating myself. I'm always dated. Let's just pass time for an hour. The movie Friends, Your Friends and Neighbors. John Hamm went to the club. Never seen Friends and Neighbors. Don't. I've never seen that. I think I might have seen the John Hamm thing. He's just like doing a little. He's like closing his eyes and kind of like swaying back and forth. I think I've seen that before. So I think I know what that is. But yeah, and I know who John Hamm is. John Hamm was awesome. You know who was really awesome? Robert Duvall. And he just passed away. Robert Duvall, R.I.P. Robert Duvall. One of the greats. One of the greats. God, he was so good. He was so good in so many roles. Holy crap. You go onto his like IMDb page, and it's just like, you just keep scrolling on things that he was in. It was like, oh my God. And he was in so many good things. You know, one of my favorite movies he was in, very underrated movie, was Secondhand Lions. Very underrated movie, but man, that was such a great movie. That had the Sixth Sense kid in it too, and it had Robert Duvall and Michael, what's his name? God, I can't remember what his last name is. I think it's Michael something. Michael Caine, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was in Apocalypse Now. I see. I've never been a big war movie person. I have never been a big war movie person at all. I've tried watching Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket. They're okay. I mean, they're just not my thing. They're not really my thing. War movies just tend to be very, very depressing. Overall, I don't like going to the movies just to be depressed. It'll always be Tom Hagen from Godfather to me. See, even The Godfather, I know people love it, but it's just not my kind of movie. Not my kind of flick. I know people love Godfather, and I'll probably get a lot of hate for it, but I never was a big Godfather fan. I've seen them. I've seen Godfather 1 and 2. Never watched Godfather 3, but I've seen 1 and 2. They're okay. I'd probably never watch them again. They don't do a whole lot for me, to be honest. I need to bring more food up here. We need more food. Yeah, I don't know why. They just never did it for me. Only 4 hours to make that one. That's wild. There we go. Now we have a proper... Oh, I guess it's stuck in here, huh? Now we have a proper storage. I'm actually going to put this one. Aha! Look at that. Look at that proper storage at the end of the bed now. There we go. Oh, it's a little off center. A little off center. Gotta set it. We gotta make it look good. There we go. All right. It's our fuel storage. That's what it goes. That's what goes in there. All right, there we go. See, this one has 35 kilos worth of stuff we can put in there. We got 6 more fur now. Look at that. Look at us with all of our fur. There we go. Nice. The computer graphics in Saving Private Ryan are so well done. But Duvall is amazing in them. Yeah, oh yeah, I think Duvall was good in him too. So love Duvall and True Grit. True Grit was a great movie. That really was. John Wayne's the GOAT. John Wayne's awesome. My dad was a huge John Wayne fan. And I'm gonna put this bedroll right on top of El Chesto. There we go. And then we got our other little chests over here with stuff in them. Birch, metal, matches, things that we'll want to take with us eventually. And we got other stuff in here. We got hides and guts in there. So this is our hides and guts, our clothing box, let's say. And this one here is our other things box. Sort of our crafting box. And I do have some cattails in here too. Actually, I'm going to grab a few of those just to have them on me. Just in case I get hungry. I say we go back down and grab some food and bring it up here. We're going to spend the next couple days kind of just shuttling stuff up here. Because this is going to be our final locale where we're going to spend our final days in the game. Actually, I could bring more food up if I leave some stuff here. So what I'm going to do, leave my hacksaw. Yeah, the hacksaw wears down so fast. Leave my lantern. I guess I could leave the... Oh, I need to drop that too. Just trying to get myself down in weight so I can carry as much stuff up here as I possibly can. There we go. I guess I can leave all of the materials here. Transfer all that over. Sort of want to carry all this stuff. I could leave, well, I don't want to leave the backup bow. My bow is basically, it's going to break like any moment. At any moment, that bow could break. Clothing's good. I'm going to keep my medicine on me. Actually, you know, one thing I do need to do is I do need to make another bandage. And I got 17 cloth. So we're gonna make another bandage. There we go. All right, let's travel back downtown. It's getting late in the day, but hey, at least it's a little warm out, you know? If I remember right, I can just skate right down here. I don't need to cross over. I can just go right down here. Yes, I can. We can just mountain goat right down the side here. Look at us mountain goating. We're like a professional mountain goater here. They call me the goat. And I don't know why, but they call me the GOAT. Yeah, I'd say if I had a genre of movies I liked a lot, it's probably, of course, sci-fi, fantasy type movies. But I also like some good action stuff. But I like some comedies as well. I do really like some comedies. A little bit of drama ones once in a while. Never a big war movie person. Westerns are okay. I'll watch them every once in a while. I'm not a big fan of musicals either. Musicals just take me out of it. I go to movies to kind of escape and lose myself in the movie, you know, and kind of just be able, you know, you have to suspend, you know, your disbelief, you know, and that certain things happen. And musicals just take me right out of it. It's like, because everybody's just going along, and the action's getting interesting, or the story's moving along interesting, and then everybody breaks out into a coordinated song and dance, and I'm like, what the hell's going on right now? It just takes me out of it. Now, there are a few musicals that I particularly like, but most of them are old, like songs, you know, The Sound of Music, Wizard of Oz. You know, there's sort of older style ones. Newer musicals, not so big a fan. Not so big a fan. I've never seen Wicked, never seen Hamilton, or any of that sort of stuff. I have no interest. I have no interest in the evil witch being an understand. You have to understand the evil witch. See, she's not really evil. She's just she's not evil. She was forced to be evil. She had no choice. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. At least in Once Upon a Time. See, I think Once Upon a Time did a great job with the Evil Queen. The Evil Queen was really she was a nasty gal. Sure, she had a bad backstory that was sad and all that good stuff, but she was still an evil biatch. And they didn't make any bones about it. And they gave her like 8 seasons to like kind of, you know, not really change, but to kind of like develop, which was interesting to see. No, I get tired of the whole deconstruction of evil characters. Evil characters are in a thing to be evil, and sometimes they can just be evil, and that's okay. They don't have to be. We don't have to understand them or empathize with them or sympathize with them or feel for them or feel sorry for them. I sort of like a good old whoa. I like a Dr. Evil type character, you know, who's just out for himself. He's just out to be evil. That's all right. It's good. I like that. How many calories does that have? 205 calories left. I think I'll eat it down right now. Oh, I have to pick it up and then eat it. Logan's Run was great. Logan's Run was really cool. Wow, look at all the stuff we have here. Holy crap. There's so many things here. Okay, let's get some sleep. It's getting on tonight. But yeah, the whole deconstruction of evil characters, that started back in like 2010, 2012, where everybody was like, you have to understand that, you know, nobody ever starts out evil. You know, it's the circumstances in their life that make them evil. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't justify what they're doing. It's like it doesn't justify what they're doing. Doesn't make them irredeemable. I mean, they could possibly be redeemed. Yeah, that's possible. I could also fart out unicorns out of my butt, but, you know, hey, that's okay. That's what I like about older movies. They have well-defined heroes and they have well-defined villains. And that's, you know, when you're in a sort of an escapism type thing, when you want to escape from reality, because in reality everything is kind of shades of gray. There is nobody who's pure evil, there's nobody who's pure good. I think we can all agree on that. But it's kind of nice to escape to a reality where the roles are very well defined. You have good guys, you have bad guys. And we like that. We like to have those. Those are kind of the ideals that we would like to live up to, and those are kind of nice to have in a fictional world. And we like to see that. You know, as humans, we like to have that because it gives us something to aspire to. It gives us something to aspire to and something to sort of like reach for. Even though we know it's unattainable. It gives us something we can reach for and something we can aspire to. And that's important for us. You know, that's an important thing. Those are still curing. I'll take that. And that's why tales, you know, the stories that have that in them always succeed. Because people like to have that idealized version of themselves out there. Even though we know it's not attainable. Nobody's arguing that it's attainable. And nobody's arguing that it's realistic. But we like to, you know, have it out there as a possibility. Something to aspire to. Aspiring to things is really very good. It's, you know, I think it's the whole, what do they call it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Nihilism. Is it nihilism? I think it's nihilism. The whole nihilistic thing, it started in comic books and it started in the movies and stuff like that, you know. The whole nihilistic thing has become the thing. You look at a show like The Boys. And whether you like The Boys or not, or you know, it doesn't matter. I personally, I'm not a big fan of The Boys. And mainly because Garth Ennis specifically comes out and he's said he hates superheroes. He just does. He doesn't like superheroes. He hates the superhero trope, and he wants to deconstruct it as much as possible. We got a Wolfie boy here. We had to take him down. I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf. You know, and so Garth Ennis, you know, the creator of The Boys, his specific goal that he set out to do was deconstruct superheroes, to make the superheroes the bad guys. You know, which, hey, you know, if that's your goal, that's fine. You know, you have every right to do that. It's not what I prefer. I like my superheroes to be good guys, and I like my supervillains to be bad guys. I'm not going to apologize for that. In movies, it's black and white, while in real life, it's half angels fighting half devils. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. In movies and TV shows, for the most part, you know, and comic books, that's where I grew up in. You know, it's black and white. There's good guys, there's bad guys. And yes, the good guys have their own demons they're fighting. Tony Stark was always an alcoholic in the Iron Man books I was reading. Spider-Man was always broke and barely making it, even though, but see, that was the thing, is like, Spider-Man was always broke and barely making it, even though he could have made a lot of money off of being Spider-Man. He chose to kind of take the high road and not become rich off of being Spider-Man, and that was kind of an honorable thing, you know. He was like, he tried that, and that was brought about by, you know, his experience early on when he tried to make money with his superpowers, and it inadvertently led to his uncle being killed. And so, you know, it's the whole great power becomes great responsibility type thing. And so it was one of those things where it was part of Spider-Man and Peter Parker's development that he realized, oh, I can make money with my superpowers, but there are consequences that come with that. And that was kind of an aspirational thing. You know, it's kind of a lesson twined in there, you know, intertwined into the story. And it was cool. I mean, you know, it's one of those things I remember to today. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Yeah, the whole nihilistic thing, thank God it's kind of dying. People are kind of getting sick and tired of it. Because we go to our entertainment to escape. People have done that for centuries. People would go to taverns to listen to the bards spin these tales of dragon slayers and bigger than life characters and them fighting against evil characters because their lives were so miserable to begin with They needed something to aspire to, something to, cheer for and root against. And to have very defined heroes and villains like that give us that, because we don't have that in real life. We don't have heroes to cheer for and villains to the root against, and so to have those stories, reflect real life is just kind of like it's kind of a letdown. It's kind of interesting for a little while, but it's kind of a letdown after a while. Even though I really like the show, Game of Thrones is very nihilistic. Game of Thrones is kind of like, it's one of the most nihilistic shows around, because there are no, it's interesting, don't get me wrong, and I really enjoyed like the first 4 or 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, but the well-defined heroes and villains, really, the only real defined hero of that show is Jon Snow. And you really root for him because he is kind of like the most well-defined hero of Game of Thrones. He's like the one good guy in the show that even though he'll make mistakes, he's going to try his hardest to do the right thing. Whether that's with the Wildlings, or whether that's with the Night's Watch, or whether it's with Winterfell, whatever he's doing, he's trying to do the right thing. And so it's very easy to cheer for Jon Snow in that show. For other guys like Stannis Baratheon, it's not so easy to cheer for him, because he's kind of a very morally gray character. That's, I think, one of the reasons early in that show, it was very easy to kind of cheer for Daenerys as well. Not so much in the later episodes, because they kind of just screwed her character up. But it was very easy to cheer for her because she was kind of the underdog. And I think, honestly, her character was trying to do the right thing most of the time. Most of the time, her character was trying to do the right thing. Even though some of her decisions weren't the greatest, I think she was trying to do the right thing overall. We do have a few more hides and guts to throw in here. And I think also it was very easy to like root against Joffrey, to root against Cersei. The Lannisters were always kind of like they were always kind of like the bad guys of the show, so it was always easy to root against them. The only real villains in Game of Thrones were Dave and Dan. You are 100% right, Gaming Charlie. Well, the big problem Game of Thrones has, there's multiple problems. The biggest problem it had is they ran out of material from George R.R. Martin. They ran out of his actual, other than an outline, they ran out of actual physical material they could go to and draw from. And they also, Game of Thrones, for the first 4 or 5 seasons, Game of Thrones was a very slow burn. I think that was one of the things that was very compelling with the show, is things did not happen. Like, things would be very slow for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 episodes, and then there would be like an episode that just a ton of stuff, a ton of story threads would come together, and they'd be very, it would be very action packed. You'd have a whole bunch of slow episodes, and then the Red Wedding would happen, and you'd be like, holy crap, what just happened? So it was very slow burn. And towards the later seasons, Dave and Dan wanted to move on, which was the stupidest thing ever, but they wanted to move on, so they just accelerated everything in the show. And that hurt the show a lot. It really did. Did I ever watch Spartacus series on Starz? I watched a little bit of it, to be honest. to be honest, and I'm not like a prude or anything. It was just too much nudity and sex. That's all it was. It was like just everybody banging everybody else. It just got boring. It just got absolutely boring. I was just not impressed with Spartacus. I know lots of people love it. The guy who was playing Spartacus, who died or whatever, he was great in the show. And yeah, it was great to see Lucy Lawless. Yeah, because I had a crush on Xena for a while. But it was great to see Lucy Lawless. But honestly, the show was just so much random sex and violence that it just I kind of got bored. I really honestly got bored of the show after a while. It's like, okay, they're all having an orgy again. Yay, okay. I mean, the first time it happens, you're kind of like, whoa, what the heck's going on here? The 20th time it happens, you're like, okay, whatever. It's one of those things where I think a lot of shows that do that, they kind of, it's sort of like the same issue I had with True Blood. True Blood was interesting, but it just was over-sexualized. You don't have to do that in your show to make it interesting. It's kind of interesting if you do it once in a while, but when you're doing it all the time, it just becomes like, I don't care anymore. You just kind of get desensitized by it, and you just don't give a crap. You're like, oh God, here we go again. It's going to be 5 minutes of runtime where they're just, everybody's doing everybody else. Yippity skippity. And if you're into that, that's great. I would just rather, I mean, to be honest, you might as well just go watch porn at that point. I mean, you know, it's like, okay, you might as well just go watch that. It's got as much story as that does, you know. You've never watched Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones is pretty good. I mean, the first season of Game of Thrones is really good. The second and third season are pretty decent as well. Fourth season is okay. Fifth season starts to fall off. And then honestly, from there, the sixth, seventh seasons and 8 seasons or whatever, they're just not that great. The thing I think that's most interesting about the early seasons of Game of Thrones is that generally in a show like that, you can tell very easily who is going to live and who is going to die, or who has plot armor and who doesn't. And in early seasons of Game of Thrones, you really had no idea. As the seasons moved on, you pretty much knew Arya was never going to face any real consequences. She was just OP at that point. You knew nothing was going to happen to her. Sansa, you never really knew, but you kind of figured nothing was going to happen to her either. Bran, you kind of figured out nothing was going to happen to him. Jon Snow, especially after certain incidences with the Night Watch and the Red Lady, you pretty much knew nothing was going to happen to him. Daenerys is one that I sort of knew something was going to happen with her at some point. They totally screwed her character up, though. How did she go? You know, as sad as she was at seeing a certain person, executed, it would never. In my mind, she would never have attacked a populace of people like she did. That just made no narrative sense. It really, truly did not. It just was out of character in my mind. It really, truly was. They just screwed her character up completely. Her character in the early seasons was really good. Even when she made mistakes, it was more because she didn't really understand how things worked, and she was trying her best. But I always got the feeling Daenerys was always trying to do the right thing. Nothing she was vindictive. I mean, with like the dude who tried to take one of her dragons. She was always a little bit vindictive, and like with the people who were the slavers of the Unsullied and stuff like that. So there was always a little bit of like vindictive streak she had, but it was usually aimed at the villains, or it was usually aimed at the people who were doing harm to other people. Yeah, she's the hot blonde chick. You could always tell, even when she did something that seemed kind of like, like when she nailed all the slavers up to crosses, like one every mile for 100 miles or whatever. You knew why she did it, because they had done the same thing to innocent people, and she always seemed to have this like soft side for people who were innocent.
Oh my.
And then later they just kind of screwed her whole character up. It just was sad to see happen. It made me sad to see her just kind of take that, to have her written that way. But that's what they wanted to do. You heard it's like porn. Oh, I was talking about Spartacus. How Spartacus just it was a decent show. I'm not saying it was a bad show. I just got tired of all the sex all the time. It was like orgy after orgy after orgy. I just was like, okay, I'm bored of these now.
I need to find a place to rest.
I just wasn't interested any longer. The one nude part with Xena, okay. The one nude part with Lucy Lawless, I will say I will say I enjoyed that. There might or might not have been a pause hit once in a while. But other than that, it just was kind of boring. I need some fuel. I need fuel because I want to go make some water for this place. We need water in this joint. Let's grab some fuel. We did finally make a rustic chest. It was definitely an every episode kind of thing. Yeah, it was, and that's the thing. Is like if they had done it once in a while, it would have had more impact. That's the thing with violence and sex in movies or TV shows or whatever, is that it's one of those things where you have to use it artfully, which I know sounds weird, especially with like sex, but you have to be artful with it, because if you overuse it, if you overplay your hand with it, it can almost become, it just can become so it doesn't really have any impact. You always want to have stuff in your material to have some sort of impact.
It's getting dark.
And not just be like, ho-hum, it's the same old thing that we've seen 1,000 times before. Which is sort of what it became after a while. It just became boring. It was nothing that interesting after a while. That's why, certain rom-coms, you look at a thing like American Pie. Now, if they had just had naked girls in American Pie all the time, would the scene with what's her name taking off her shirt in that dude's room, would that be like one of the main scenes that everybody's like, oh my God, I remember that scene? That's the thing, is like when you make it that impactful, it's like, oh, was that Tara Reid? I think Tara Reid. Yeah, with Nadia. Yeah, the scene with Nadia in his room. Yeah, I mean, that scene, or was that Shannon Elizabeth? Okay, Shannon Elizabeth. That scene sticks out because it was so, like, holy crap. That it was like, wow. Yeah, you don't remember that scene at all? Yeah, I don't either. They wanted you to be addicted to porn and violence? I guess. I don't know. It's just when you sprinkle it in, it needs to be put in there in a selective way to have impact. That's the thing, is like I'm like really I'm not squeamish about violence, but sometimes it can just get to be like, okay, it's another violent scene, whoopity-doo. It's like okay, it loses all impact when it's all the time. When it's all the time, it's not that it's special in a good way. It's special that it stands out in your mind because it's not the norm. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it does in my head. It does in my head, so. which, you know, some shows get it really right. I mean, there's shows out there that I think do a great job with it, that have a good mix of it. And you know, and Game of Thrones did have like some gratuitous sex and violence in it, but really the violence in Game of Thrones, especially in the beginning, most of it was pretty impactful. Most of it was pretty impactful. I mean, like even the opening scene where they find all the bodies out in the not the wasteland, but out in the north area. You know, it was like, holy crud, what's going on? You know, and like when Eddard Stark, you know, beheads the guy, and you know, and he's like, you know, it's a very impactful scene because it's like, holy crap, it actually has, you know, it has meaning. It's thoughtfully done. Sure, they showed it and everything, but it happens for a reason. It's not just happening every 5 seconds for no reason at all. I think the stuff with Theon Greyjoy was a little excessive. I'm gonna say it was a little excessive to the point of being disturbing. That I'm not a squeamish person, but that sort of stuff, the whole torture thing, yeah, it showed you how evil that little jerk was, but that and the stuff he did with Sansa was a little... It made my skin crawl a little bit, which I'm sure is the whole point, but it made me uncomfortable watching it. It made me uncomfortable watching it. It wasn't even that it was gratuitous. It was super uncomfortable. And I really didn't like it a whole lot. It made me not want to watch the show for a little bit, to be honest. And that, I think, just as a personal... Yeah, Ramsay Bolton, yeah. I mean, Bolton was a great character, don't get me wrong. The actor for Ramsay Bolton... See, that's the thing, too, is that the actors for both Joffrey and Ramsay are just amazing. Because they made you feel those characters, like, the evil... you know, they made you feel that those guys were really that bad. They were really, really good. All right, what day are we on? We are on day 557. We got 42 days down. We only have 8 days to go in this zone. That's awesome. Awesome. We got a couple more trips to bring more stuff up here. Let's get our bow out. 16% still. I don't think we're even going to need to make a new bow before we leave the zone. I don't think we will. This bow has lasted the entire time we've been in the zone. We're now at the point where a bow lasts like 50 to 60 days easily before we have to replace it. That has to do with two factors, actually. It has to do with the factor that we have Archery 5, which makes our bows wear down way slower. And we just aren't shooting as much. We'll shoot an occasional wolf if we run across them. We'll shoot a bear. We'll shoot a couple rabbits. We'll shoot a moose if we need to. But we really aren't doing a ton. Lena Headley was awesome in it as well. I mean, I've been a big fan of Lena since Game of Thrones, as well as Dread. She was awesome as Mama in Dread. She did such a good job. And see, that's the thing, like Mama in Dread is like, I think, a perfect villain. Like a perfectly written villain. She's evil. She has this sad backstory, but she's made choices that has led her down a path where she's broken, but she's completely irredeemable. And she's a great, great villain. An amazing villain. Between the arrows I have on me and the arrows I have in my base, I think I have about 30 arrows right now, 29 or 30 arrows. I'm only carrying like 14 with me. because they just weigh a bunch. What zone is next? We're going to be finishing off we finished off all the regular world zones except for Broken Railroad. Broken Railroad is the final Great Bear Isle zone that we're going to be going to. And then we have Forsaken Airfield, Zone of Contamination, Sundered Pass. But yeah, with this, we are down to the final zone in the old world, you could say. But if you've never seen Dread is amazing. Carl Urban is amazing. Lena Headley is amazing. I forget who the gal is who plays the Olivia Thurby played Judge Anderson. Played Psychop Anderson in it. And she was great in it too. Her story arc was amazing. From a rookie being thrown in the deep end because it's all a deep end. From being thrown into the deep end like she is with Dread in Peach Trees, up against the Mama clan and basically the entire block. To being that rookie to coming out on the other end, being kind of hardened and it's just a great arc for her. It was an amazing arc. And the cool thing is, Judge Dredd's arc, he starts the movie as one thing, he ends the movie as the same exact thing. Judge Dredd in that movie has zero growth arc. He just is. And Judge Dredd, played by Carl Urban, is just one of the best things you'll ever see. Will I do 50 days in Transfer Pass? No. The Transfer Pass is not a zone. I don't care that they classify it. I don't care that it's on here as a zone. The Transfer Pass is not a zone. We're not doing 50 days in Transfer Pass. I could do it. It'd just be the most boring thing you would ever see. I just wish Dredd had made more money, and I wish Dredd had not come out after that horrible Stallone movie. Coming out after Stallone's movie just killed it. It just really killed it because Stallone's movie was just so bad. So horrible. All right, let's sleep till we're not tired anymore. But yeah, Transfer Pass I don't really count, Jack. It'd be like spending 50 days in Winding River. I could do it, but there'd be no point. It'd just be boring as crap. Everybody, including me, would be bored to tears after 50 days. All right, we got all of our sticks. I'm gonna grab a little more coal while we're here. Black bear hide. I'm actually gonna bring that up there and cure it. We got 38. We're at 38 right now. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. All right, we got a little bit more meat on us. Actually, do I want to take up stuff from the rock cache? Yes, I do. Let's go back. We got some food up there right now. Let's drop the meats. I'm going to drop the meats. We're going to see what we can pick up out of the rock cache first. I do want to take the cougar hide. I want to take some guts. I got a wolf hide up there already. I want to take 10 of my mushrooms. Actually, let's take 12 of the mushrooms. Now we're at 40 kilos. Okay. 41, 42, 43, 44. Perfect. Yeah, Stallone's version was horrible. Well, the biggest problem with Stallone's version, and I think one of the biggest amazing things about Carl Urban's version, and it seems like a small thing, is that in Carl Urban's version, you never see Judge Dredd's face, which is completely comic accurate, completely lore accurate. Judge Dredd the main thing about Judge Dredd is that he is set up to be this faceless kind of amoral character who, well, not even amoral, but he is the judge, jury, and executioner of the law, all wrapped into one. He arrests you, he judges you, and he executes his judgment on the spot. And he is a faceless kind of creature that just does that. Emotionlessly. And so they take that human factor out of it, that he is just this he is a cog in the machine. And Stallone is Stallone's a great actor, don't get me wrong. I think he's come on. I mean, I loved him in Demolition Man. I've loved him in a lot of movies. Cliffhanger was amazing. Demolition Man was amazing. He's been in a lot of great movies. He's in a great TV. He was in a TV show recently as well that was highly acclaimed as well. But Stallone is very about himself as well, and he didn't want to go through the movie with a helmet on. So he was very adamant about taking his helmet off in the Judge Dredd movie. Carl Urban was very much like he reminds me a lot of Henry Cavill in the sense that he really wants to be authentic to the character, authentic to the role, no matter what it reflects, no matter how it makes him look in the movie. He wants to honor the character as much as he can. And Stallone's version, Stallone's version, Shane, was fun, but it was very campy, and it was all about Stallone. What about over the top? Over the top, yes, over the top. Adrian, I'm going over the top. Yo, Adrian. Yeah, Over the Top was awesome. Over the Top. See, that's the kind of movies that Stallone needs to make, though. Those kind of movies are Stallone movies. Just goofy, fun stuff. The thing is, though, that because Judge Dredd with Stallone was so campy, and it turned a lot of people off, and it turned American audiences off as well. When Dredd came out, people were very confused by the movie itself in how it was marketed and what it looked like. It was like, well, is this a follow-up to Stallone's version? Is it going to be as campy as Stallone's version? Is it going to be a more serious take on the character? People really didn't know going in what it was going to be. And unfortunately, it flopped at the box office. It didn't even make back. It only cost it cost like 30, 40 million. I think it was like 40, 45 million to make it, which by today's standards is nothing. But back then it was a lot of money, and I think it only cleared like 5 million less than it cost. And so it just never got greenlit for more because it didn't make its money back. Although it is a far superior movie than the first one, in my opinion. Judge Dredd is supposed to be almost AI rather than a human. Yeah, I mean, but he's a product of his environment. He very much is. Just like Judge Anderson is very much a product of her environment. She's a more softer judge who grew up she kind of grew up in the projects, which put her close to the radiation, which turned her into a mutant with psychic abilities. And she kind of is she's kind of like, Judge Anderson in the comics is kind of like a Doctor Who companion. She kind of like is our eyes into the world of Judge Dredd. Because we aren't really meant to empathize or understand Judge Dredd except through how Cy Anderson kind of relates to him and kind of like shows us the world with him in it. And that's how Doctor Who used to be as well. Doctor Who was very much about us experiencing the show through the companions, because that was our view into his world. Until the later seasons when Doctor Who just shat the bed, and it became all about the companions, and not so much about Doctor Who anymore. And as Critical Drinker would say, it became about the message. Oh wait! I gotta.
The message.
Yeah, it became about the message later on. So that also put the nail in the coffin for me. Oh, we got a bear hide. Let's throw it down. Oh, look at that. We got our bear hide. We can put our bear hide right under our bear hide bed. We can have another bear hide cure. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Alrighty. There we go. I think I will put the mushrooms in here, because that sort of goes along with the acorn grounds and the burdock root, because we can make more prepper's pie with those. Not that we need more prepper's pies right now, but we can make them if we want. The thing is, we can make them. And then here we see we have 14 more simple arrows. I'm actually going to make a couple more arrows while we're here, because why not? There we go. Make 2 more arrows. Always use your good tools when making the arrows. There we go. That's an 85. I can repair it up still. How many days in HRV now? I think we're either at 40 or 41. Why am I carrying a broom? Because a broom is very important to the game. The broom is one of the two items in the game that you can put on the floor, and you can also put on a wall. So if you put it on the floor, you can take your hide. You can put your hide on the broom. You can pick the broom up, and you can then put the hide on the wall. And then you can grab your broom and be like, look at that, I got a bear hide on the wall. That's how I have deer hides and wolf hides on my walls. That's how you put anything on the walls. You get a broom, and you always carry the broom. The broom and the table calendar. There's a calendar that you can put on the table that also fits on the wall. I think it's the desk calendar, but it goes on the wall and the table, so you can do the same thing with that. I like the broom because it's more skinny and thin. It's easier to get down on the ground and put stuff on. It has a smaller. You have to put it on the handle, so it's a smaller pixel that you have to find to put stuff on it. Because the calendar's bigger, you can just kind of put it anywhere on it. But yeah, I like the broom. I like the broom a little bit better. I will carry the calendar every once in a while if I need to. But yeah, the broom's usually my choice. Even Shooty and the Booty saw the writing on the wall and they quit the show before it self-destructed. Yeah. Yeah, Shooty Gatwa. Yeah, Shooty Gatwa was a horrible choice for the Doctor. He was not hired for his acting skills. He wasn't hired to play the Doctor. He was hired for a very specific reason, just like Jodie Whittaker was. Jodie Whittaker, who we will from now on call Dr. Karen, they were both hired for very specific reasons. And yeah, the show failed. The show went from being a crossover hit into America, where at conventions you would have people dressing up like David Tennant, Matt Smith, and even Christopher Eccleston all the time. The show went from being a huge cross-culture hit, because before especially David Tennant, not so much even Christopher Eccleston's time, but back in the day, Doctor Who was a very niche thing. It played on public broadcasting in America. It played in the half-hour segments, because back then, Doctor Who was filmed as most of the episodes or most of the story arcs were filmed as either 4 to 8-part series that were split up into 20 to 25-minute segments that would be broadcast on public broadcasting a half hour at a time over like a 6 to 8 day period. And that's how you had to watch it. Ours here in Oregon, it was on Portland Public Broadcasting, and it was, or OPB, Oregon Public Broadcasting, and it was shown at 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Monday through Friday. And I always had to record it. That's why I still have the recordings. I still have the VHS tapes I recorded them on, but I had to record them because from 6 to 6:30 p.m., that's when the CBS News with Walter Cronkite was on, and that's what my dad watched every night. So I couldn't watch Doctor Who, so I had to set it up. I mean, it was amazing. Let me tell you this. Back in the 80s, there was nothing more amazing than being able to watch a show and tape a show on a different channel at the same time. That was high tech. That was the most mind-blowing thing. My mom and dad still never figured out. They were like, "How are you taping the show on channel 10 when we're watching the news on channel 6? How is that even possible? How is that even a thing?" They didn't understand it. They couldn't grasp it. They couldn't grasp the concept. And that was, but I'd tape it, and then I'd go back and I'd watch. And at 6:30, when my dad was done watching the news, I'd rewind my tape and I'd watch Doctor Who. And then the next day, I'd tape the next episode. So I pretty much have all the Tom Baker years. I'm missing Stones of Blood. I'm also missing. I'm actually missing the first one, the Robot. I'm missing the first Tom Baker episode, Robot. I'm missing that series as well. I actually started with Ark in Space. Yes, I know almost all the Tom Baker episodes. That's how nerdy I am with Doctor Who. Okay, for people who are like, "Oh, you're not a Doctor Who fan because you don't like the new stuff." No, I'm a bigger Doctor. I was eating, breathing, and sleeping Doctor Who before most of these people were even, like, before their parents were even born. But yeah. So I mean, but you know, Eccleston broke the ground here in the U.S. But when David Tennant became Doctor Who, that really crossed over. That crossed it over to a huge cross-cultural phenomenon here in the United States. Before that, Doctor Who was very niche. Doctor Who was kind of the redheaded stepchild of science fiction here in the U.S., and it was poo-pooed on because the special effects weren't that great. BBC did not create shows with high special effects in them. Lots of plastic prosthetic monsters. I mean, I think there was even an episode. I think it was The Face of Fear. It was the Face of Planet of Evil. I think it was Planet of Evil, where the creature, the alien creatures were literally bubble wrap. It was colored bubble wrap. I mean, they did what they could, but you know, the stories were always great. Pirate Planet, one of my favorite stories ever, was actually written by Douglas, the guy Douglas Adams, the guy who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide, was actually written by him. So, you know, and the Daleks were always great. I mean, Genesis of the Daleks is one of the greatest. I mean, it was. Genesis of the Daleks has some of the greatest monologues in it ever, but it also is one of the longest. It kind of drags in a lot of places. But Genesis of the Daleks was amazing. Doctor Who was on late when I grew up. It was the only show my dad would let me stay up late to watch. Nice. Based dad, Phil. Your dad was based. The main enemy being an upside-down trash can with a whisk and a plunger attached didn't help. Oh, I love the Daleks. The Daleks were awesome. Cybermen with farmers wellies spray paint so. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the Cybermen were awesome. The Daleks were awesome back then. Am I a Hitchhiker's Guide fan? You know, I don't mind it. I'm not a big fan of it though. I don't mind it. I think it's interesting. I think it's good. I never was like a super fan of it. Never a super fan. You could even see the zipper in the back of some of the aliens. Yeah. What did the Daleks keep saying? Exterminate, exterminate, exterminate.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
Yeah, that's what they said. They were all about exterminating their enemies. But the thing is, when David Tennant took over as the Doctor, it really crossed over into America at that point. Eccleston broke the ground. David Tennant took that ground and ran with it. And I will say, David Tennant is the second best Doctor to ever be portrayed on TV. I'm sorry, Tom Baker's the best. And David Tennant even took some of Tom Baker's kind of mannerisms and stuff to heart, and kind of played his Doctor a lot like Tom Baker's Doctor, which I think really helped, because Tom Baker's Doctor is amazing. He just is. I did love the movie of Hitchhiker's Guide. Incredible cast. It's so damn funny. It was good. It was good. And really, I mean, Matt Smith, I know a lot of people love Matt Smith's Doctor, and I think Matt Smith's Doctor, he did grow on me after a while. He's not my favorite, though. He's not my favorite. So long, and thanks for all the fish. The dolphins and the bumblebees knew what was coming. They all took off. They were like, see you later, guys. But yeah, David Tennant had he had a way of playing the Doctor that was so good. It was, and in a lot of ways I parallel it to Tom Baker. Tom Baker and David Tennant were always they were a Doctor who had a lot of facets to him. Most of the time, they played kind of an affable, kind of lighthearted, kind of curious child almost, where they're like excited by new things. They're checking out the world around them. They're excited by what they're experiencing. But they both had a way of becoming very serious and very almost dark very quickly, and becoming very stern, serious. You could see they were almost, you could sense they brought the age of the Doctor to the forefront very quickly, because it was very easy to forget the Doctor is like hundreds and hundreds of years old. And they could bring that out of the Doctor in a moment that just made you just go, wow, holy crap. I will confess I can't stand Doctor Who, but I'm a massive fan of all the Doctors, Tennant onwards. Smith's a great actor. Capaldi's hilarious. Whittaker is an incredible actress over here, and Shooty was great. And other stuff I've seen him in, even if the ladders weren't the best fits for Doctor. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, Whittaker, I've seen her in other stuff, and she's really good. She just wasn't a good pick for the Doctor. Same thing with Shooty Gatwa. Just wasn't a good pick for the Doctor. And it's not even really their fault. Even Capaldi suffered from that. Capaldi is a great actor, and Capaldi did the best he could with what he had. And I really blame the writing more than the actors for the problems that they had. I really do. I really blame the writing more than the acting. Chibnall was a horrible Doctor Who writer. And although Robert T. Davies is a great Doctor Who writer back in the day, sometimes people come back and they aren't as good as they were before, and that's how that's how he was. I love that David Tennant's wife is Peter Davidson's daughter. I know, and that she played his daughter in the episode. Yeah, now get your head wrapped around that. David Tennant's wife is so David Tennant, the Doctor, his wife is the daughter of the 6th Doctor, Peter Davidson, and she played David Tennant's daughter in one of the Doctor Who episodes. David Tennant's a great actor. Recently watching him play Dennis Nielsen in Netflix docudrama. Yeah, Peter Davidson is a great actor. He really, truly is. Peter Capaldi really got screwed by bad scripts. Yeah, I mean, he could have been one of the best Doctors. He really could have. I actually was more excited for Peter Capaldi becoming the Doctor than I was Matt Smith. Matt Smith grew on me after a while, but his Doctor was just not my not one of my favorites. He's probably my 5th or 6th favorite Doctor, to be honest. Because if I had to name them in order of Doctors I love, Tom Baker, he's my Doctor. David Tennant, right after that. Believe it or not, John Pertwee is probably my 3rd favorite Doctor. I love John Pertwee's stuff. After that, Peter Davidson. And then probably Matt Smith. So yeah, Matt Smith's like my 5th favorite. And then after Matt Smith, I would actually go Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester McCoy got handed a lot of bad scripts, but he did a great job as the Doctor. I really liked him. Then probably Patrick Troughton, William Hartnell, Colin Baker. I just was not a big fan of Colin Baker's stuff. And then, unfortunately, Peter Capaldi, Shooty, and what's her name? They kind of get thrown in at the end because I don't really. After Matt Smith, the Doctor for me just kind of died. I never really watched a lot of those. The best part of John Pertwee is Ace. I loved Ace. Ace was great. I mean, really, let's be honest. The best part of Sylvester McCoy, not Sylvester McCoy. You're thinking of Sylvester McCoy as Ace. The best part of Colin Baker was Perry. The best part of Colin Baker's era was Perry. Perry and her outfits. I had a huge crush on Perry. She was quite the. She was very crush-tastic. All right, let's pick up a few more things out of here. I think I will take up the other. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that pry bar here. That'll be our pry bar for fishing here if we ever come back. I'm going to take the rest of my mushrooms, and I think I can take all my rose hips up there. No, I can't. I can't take all my rose hips up there. So I'll leave them here. I could never get into watching Doctor Who. It's not for everybody. Doctor Who, like I said, Doctor Who is kind of the redheaded stepchild of sci-fi in America. And it always has been. It always has been the redheaded stepchild of Doctor Who. Without a doubt. I love K9. Aww. K9 was great. Layla was awesome. She was always wanted to use Janus thorns on everybody.
Need to find some place to escape this cold.
600 rose hips. Why? Why not? Why not 600 rose hips? Yeah, Layla was awesome. So so let's run through Tom Baker's companions. He started off with Harry and Sarah Jane Smith, who Sarah Jane Smith is the GOAT. Sarah Jane Smith, in my mind, she is the ultimate companion. She always was. She always will be. Sarah Jane Smith is the best companion the Doctor's ever had. But she started out with Sarah Jane and her. He then Sarah Jane got dumped in Cardiff when the Doctor got called back to Gallifrey, and shortly thereafter he got Romana, and then once Romana, he got Layla. He got Layla after that, didn't he? Yeah, he got Layla, and then when he got called back to Gallifrey again, Layla stayed there with one of the Gallifreyans. She actually stayed on Gallifrey. And then he got Romana, and of course K9 was in there too. He got Romana, and Romana was along for a while until they went into E-Space, I think it was. And that's where they picked up Adric. And then they came back from E-Space. Romana stayed behind in E-Space because Romana started as one actress and then she changed to the actress who played she was played by the actress who was the last piece in the Key to Time. But then they picked up Adric and they left Romana behind. And then, and actually the new Romana, the gal who played the new Romana, her and Tom Baker actually were involved for a little while, I believe. And then they pick up Adric, and then they got Tegan and Nyssa. They picked up Nyssa first, and then they picked up Tegan after that. And Turlo was I don't know if was Turlo in. I don't think Turlo was not in it until Peter Davidson took over. But Nyssa and Tegan and Adric were there in the end for Tom Baker. At that point, he had like 3 companions, which I think was way too many companions for him. Layla was seen as too aggressive, masculine, so BBC countered it by making her outfits more and more skimpy. Adolescent me did not complain. They never did to me either. I never complained either. Brunette or blonde Romana? Personally, I like the first Romana better, the brunette. But I'm a brunette guy. I'm a brunette kind of guy. I'm not big into blondes. I don't know. I'm just not. I was a Star Trek fan and Stargate fan more than outer space sci-fi shows. I get that. More than any other outer space shows. So good that they killed Adric. I have mixed feelings on Earthshock. I have very mixed feelings on Earthshock and them killing Adric off. I mean, it was. I will say, user, it was a very momentous event when they killed him off, because generally, Doctor Who's companions are pretty safe. Even though they're put into danger, you know they're probably going to survive. For them to off Adric in that way was very, like, dang. That was huge. I mean, it was not the norm, for sure. The Doctor Who would have companions that would leave, but they didn't really have companions that they would just kill off. And it was very wild. And yeah, his character was written in a very whiny way. His character was rather grating, for sure. And also, the show ran into the situation where they had Adric, they had Tegan, they had Nyssa, and they just had too many companions. Gingers were the best. They just had too many companions at that point. And the story and the Doctor was running around saving the companions 90% of the time. I did like the remake of BSG. Yeah, BSG is great. The remake of BSG is great. It's my fifth to sixth favorite sci-fi show of all time. It holds that 5th, 5, 6 slot there, right there. It in the Expanse, I go back and forth on all the time. The Expanse and BSG, the new BSG, I go back and forth on all the time, as 5 and 6 of my top 5. So there's the Turlo fan. I hated Turlo. I absolutely hated Turlo. Turlo was just he was so annoying. So annoying all the time. Did not like him. But yeah, if you're looking for good sci-fi, Doctor Who, the old classic series, Doctor Who, the new stuff, especially Eccleston. I think Eccleston's underrated immensely. But Eccleston, Tennant, Matt Smith, even going into Peter Capaldi, is really good. That's Doctor Who's amazing. I'm reading The Expanse is a good TV show. The TV show is definitely a lot different than the books. They flesh out a lot more stuff. They put a lot more Avasarala into the TV show than's in the books. I've read most of the books. I've read the first 4 so far. The books are good, but they are definitely a different take. The show definitely goes into more of the crew. The books are more concentrated on James Holden and Miller, and then Bobby comes into it later. The show definitely it fleshes out more of Amos and the other crew members. But Doctor Who, number 1. If you want a great sci-fi show that unfortunately got canceled way too soon, Firefly, number 2. Number 3, I have to go with one of my favorite shows of all time, and that is... No. Do I want to go with that one? Do I want to go with that one? Oh, it's always a toss-up. 3 and 4. I'm gonna go with Babylon 5. Babylon 5, number 3, for sure. Babylon 5, number 3. Farscape, number 4. So those are my top 4. Doctor Who, Firefly, Babylon 5, Farscape. All amazing. Just must-watch sci-fi. Number 5, like I said, it goes back and forth. Right now, it's BSG. Expanse is number 6. The Expanse, the first 3 seasons of The Expanse, if you're reading The Expanse, Neil, the first 3 seasons are amazing. The 4th season is okay. The 5th and 6th seasons, I wasn't that big of a fan of. They're good, but they just aren't as good as the first 3. The first 3 seasons are the best, in my opinion. Expanse beats BSG for all out sci-fi, but BSG has celeb power. BSG, the thing I liked about the new Battlestar Galactica, it was a more gritty take on sci-fi. I really like that. I really liked the grittiness that it had. And I like that much like The Expanse, it's very low tech. There's not it's not all laser battles and that sort of stuff. It's all very sort of like, it's sort of more realistic stuff, as much as realistic as. All right, hey, have a good one. Don't know what I'm doing. Have a good one, man. Your boyfriend finds the red hair hot. Because I'm old school, Star Trek TOS will always be number 1 for me. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've watched all the Star Trek. I love Star Trek, don't get me wrong. I'm just not it's not like one of my top shows. It falls in my top 10. I mean, because I would group together. Well, see, that's the thing is Star Trek's tough to unravel because there's so many of them. And some of them would fall in my top 10. Some of them wouldn't. Stargate is like number 7. Stargate Atlantis is probably number 9. I'd probably put Next Generation as number 8. Atlantis is number 9. I would probably put in... and I know this will probably annoy a lot of people, but I'm a huge Voyager fan. I would probably put Voyager in at number 10. I was never, and I still haven't finished it, I was never a big fan of Deep Space Nine. I was never a big fan of it. Deep Space Nine is a direct ripoff of Babylon 5. I don't care what anybody says. Deep Space Nine is a direct ripoff of Babylon 5. And I'd rather watch the original. I'd rather watch the OG than watch something like, than watch the ripoff version. As Straczynski actually went and pitched Babylon 5 to the company that did Deep Space Nine, and they turned it down. And then they suddenly came out with a show very similar to Babylon 5. Let's see. We have a station in neutral territory that's beset by all these activities that are happening around it, and all this mystery and a procedural drama that then takes place over many seasons. Interesting. Interesting, you say. Almost like they ripped it off from somebody else.
I'm right here if I thought I'd ever wake up again.
I know we're tired. It's early in the day still. Deep Space Nine just never interested me. I've watched like the first couple seasons of it. I honestly kind of got bored. I kind of got bored of it. I mean, Voyager, for me, Star Trek is about spaceship flying through space, encountering new planets, encountering different scenarios. That's what Star Trek is for me. And I love it for that. That's why I love Next Generation. Next Generation is great. I think the weakest parts of Next Generation was when they were getting into the Earth political stuff. I think was like the most boring, was kind of some of the most boring stuff for me, because I was like, okay, I just want them out gallivanting around the universe, running into Q every once in a while, running into the Borg and that sort of stuff, Deep Space Nine just kind of got a little stale to me. I don't know. I know a lot of people love it. I think Captain Sisko's a great captain. I think the actors in it are great. Jadzia Dax, I think, was an interesting character. I'm not a big fan of the Doctor. I think he was kind of I liked his interactions with Garrick. Was it Garrick? I think it was Garrick, the guy who was the tailor on the station. And of course, the Ferengi on the station were hilarious. But Deep Space Nine just never did it for me. It just never did it for me. And I wish it had, because I really wanted it to. The other problem is Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5 were out at the same time. And so I sort of had to choose. At that point, you sort of had to choose your team. You were either Babylon 5 or your team Deep Space Nine. You couldn't be both. You could not be both teams. Oh, I needed some wood. I forgot my wood. You couldn't be both teams. You couldn't be into Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine. That just went against all rationale. That went against all logic, and you just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Yeah, Deep Space Nine has a great cast of characters. Odo was interesting. There was some mystery involved in it. It was a very interesting show. I just kind of got bored of it after a while. Whereas Babylon 5, I never got bored of. Babylon 5 started super slow, but man, oh man. If you ever watched Babylon 5, I highly recommend watching the entire series and then go back and watch season 1 with the entire series in context. Watch season 1 again. It is a master class in dropping hints and dropping things in your show that at the time seem insignificant and that payoff like 3 seasons later. And then you're like, you don't even recognize it. Even while you're watching season 3, you kind of recognize it, but if you go back and watch season 1, you're like, holy crap. This was set up in season 1 to happen already. I mean, one of the eeriest lines ever out of Babylon 5 was when I think it was not Sheridan, Sinclair, when he's talking to Kosh, and Kosh, I believe they're talking about the Narn and the Centauri, and Kosh says something to the effect that they are doomed, and he's like, who's doomed? The Narn, the Centauri? And Kosh just goes, yes. And it's just like you're like, oh God, what the heck is gonna happen? And then the way it plays out over the next 3 or 4 seasons, where the Narn, where what happens to the Narn happens to them, and then what happens to Centauri Prime happens to them, and by the end of the show, you're like, holy crap. It's like you see it all come to fruition. Yeah, the foreshadowing in Babylon 5 is great. I mean, the episode where they bring Jack the Ripper, literally Jack the Ripper, into Babylon 5 is just one of the most amazing exits of a character you'll ever see. His final monologue, where he's leaving Babylon 5 to go back to the Vorlon homeworld, is just one of the best monologues ever. There's so many good moments in Babylon 5 that you're just like, oh. And oh my God, the guy who plays Jakar, Andreas, I can't remember his last name, but Andreas, he is such a good actor. I mean, the Jakar Londo dynamic is one of the best. It is a master class in writing characters that start out in a certain place, and where they end at the end of the series is literally the opposite of where they started, and they are in the shoes of the other character. It's so amazing. Jakar starts out as this warlike, just wanting revenge against the Centauri for the years that his people have been under their boot, and he's so angry and just ready to fight at the drop of a hat, and just like he's just such a he's a character that you kind of despise him in the beginning of the show. You're like, dude, chill out, bro. Like he's just such a angry character that just is so mad at the world. And my fire went out. I wasn't paying attention. He's so mad at the world, and the character arc that he goes on is just so amazing. And Londo's the exact opposite way. Londo in the beginning, he's kind of this happy-go-lucky guy who's just kind of dreaming of a Centauri Republic that is the Centauri Republic he grew up in, that has its glory, that spans, you know, he sees his world in decline, so he's just kind of like drinking his way into an early death kind of thing, you know. But he's just kind of happy-go-lucky. He has a position on Babylon 5 which he looks at as kind of it's almost like a token position where it has no power, no responsibility, no prestige. And he goes from that to where he ends up in the series, you know, ends up years later in the series, you know, of course, through meeting Mr. Morden, who's working for the Shadows, you know, meeting him, and sort of like his star starts to rise. He starts to become, you know, more powerful. But in the beginning, he's very, you know, his interactions with Jakar are very much on the line of, why are you so mad, bro? Why are you so mad at us? You know, you're free now. Why are you so angry? You know, that sort of thing. It's very cool how they wrote both of those characters. Both Londo and Jakar are just written so well, and their interactions are probably one of the highlights of the show. They really, truly are. Watching them interact with each other is the most amazing thing. You never liked Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a very British show. It is. And especially the production quality, and you got to remember, Doctor Who was a kids show. Doctor Who was originally written as a kids show. It was a kids science fiction show. It wasn't really meant for adult consumption. It was meant for kids. And that was and honestly, that's when I started to love it when I was a kid. I was a kid when I started to love it. 43 days. We got 7 days left. 7 days left, boys and girls. 7 days left. 7 days left. That was your fault bringing up Star Trek. Don't worry about it. I went out to get some beers and went from Doctor Who to Star Trek. DS9 is a soap. It is the darkest Star Trek. I like DS9, the best Star Trek for me. Babylon 5 never did it for me, so boring. See, and that's the thing. For me, Babylon 5, and I will agree with you. Babylon 5 is a very slow burn first season. The first season of Babylon 5 is hard to get through. It is really hard to get through. If you can get through the first season of Babylon 5, though, it is totally worth it later on. But the first season of Babylon 5 is a tough ride. It's getting its footing. It's setting up. The whole first season, though, is setting up everything that happens afterwards. It really, truly is. The first season of Babylon 5 is setting up all the things that are going to come after. And Babylon 5 first season gets dogged a lot. And I get that. I get it. I totally understand it. It deserves it in a lot of ways. I do want to repair the Travoy. How much can I repair it right now? I can repair it full. I think I'll wait till it wears down a little bit more. Do you remember the Death of Personality episode with Brad Dourif? That broke me. A Death of Personality. I don't remember that one. I probably would. I probably just don't remember it from the name. Still remember from the name. But see, that's the beauty, though, of sci-fi as well. Sci-fi, like everything else, like every form of media out there, is super subjective. Whether it's music, movies, television, sci-fi, drama, comedy, whatever it is, it's all subjective. Everything is all your view, and there's nothing wrong or right with it. It's what you enjoy. And that's why there's so many different forms of media out there as well, is everybody enjoys something different. Everybody enjoys different things. What one person finds exciting, other people will find boring. What one person finds boring, other people will find to be the best thing ever. And so, that's the beauty of it. And that's why there's so much of it out there, is because you got to find what you enjoy. And I would, you can listen to recommendations, but in the end, you got to enjoy it yourself. And if you're not enjoying it, then don't watch it. It's like Deep Space Nine. I've tried so many times. I swear to God, I've sat down and watched the first couple seasons of Deep Space Nine so many times, trying to get into it, and I just can't get past those first couple seasons. I get about 2/3 of the way through the second season. I'm just kind of like, okay, I just am waiting for something. I don't know. And I've seen some episodes from later seasons, and it's a good show. I mean, the cast of characters is amazing in it. Dr. Bashir and Garrick, I mean, their dynamic is amazing. I like the introduction of some of the villains. The show is interesting. I've never been able to get into it. I have literally watched every other Star Trek from start to finish. Next Generation, Voyager, Enterprise. Talk about a Enterprise. Of course the original series. Of course I've watched that. I grew up on that. He was a heinous criminal who was treated in Death of Person. Oh yeah. That's the one that had Brad Dourif, the guy who plays he's in Star Trek as well. Who's the guy who plays in Star Trek? He plays that sort of neurotic character in Star Trek. Isn't that him? Or am I thinking does he just look like him? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, no, Death of Personality was really good. That had the priests and stuff in it. Yeah. Yep. And that was such a wild. That was such a wild one too. That was such a wild one. I mean, because his personality started to break, and then but it was breaking because the victims of his crime were the victims. The victim of his crime, or one of the relatives of the victim of his crime, was coming after him to kill him, and did actually end up killing him. And then that guy was punished by having his personality wiped and being put into the monastery, and into that same monastery, and leaving with the monks. And remember at the end how torn Sheridan was, because Sheridan truly believed that no justice had been served. That was such a great episode. That really truly was. And see, that is the thing I loved about Babylon 5. Was that Babylon 5 and also Next Generation as well. But that's where great science fiction comes in. Babylon 5 showed you all of that stuff through Death of Personality. Showed you what happens, shows you the outcome, showed you everything that happened in it, but it didn't tell you what you should believe about it. It lets you feel through the characters what they were feeling about it, but it didn't tell you this is the right way to feel about it. This is the right way to understand this. It left it up. It made sure that you, the audience, were left with the option to go, I agree with that or I disagree with that. I think that's right or I think that's wrong. It didn't preach to you. It showed you a scenario, and it said, here's the options you have. Here's the outcomes that come from that. What do you think? And that's where great writing is not anymore. I don't think a lot of shows have great writing like that anymore. Most shows these days, they beat you over the head with, this is the right way to understand this, and this is the wrong way to understand this. So you better understand it this way because this is the right way to understand it. Instead of like leaving it, it's basically telling you you're too stupid to actually understand it. So we're going to tell you how to understand it. Enterprise I like to. I never got why it was canceled. Yeah, I don't understand why it was canceled either. I thought it was going. They really rushed the ending of Enterprise. I thought it was going in a really good direction. And let's just be honest. I started watching Enterprise because it had Scott Bakula in it, and I am a huge fan. I was a huge fan of Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell is one of the most amazing shows ever. And I don't even really count. I mean, I know Quantum Leap technically is science fiction. I don't really count it as science fiction. I mean, it had science fiction elements, but it was more of a drama show than anything else. But it did have science fiction elements. Remember the Halloween episode of Quantum Leap? Holy crap. That Halloween episode has stuck with me to this day. That Halloween episode was amazing. That was the craziest episode ever. But yeah, I mean, I mainly watched Enterprise because Scott Bakula was in it. And I love Scott Bakula. He's such a great actor. He's such a good actor. Dorff's one of the best actors ever. Big fan of him. Always played neurotic characters. Yeah, he's great. Who was his character on Star Trek? He was kind of a recurring character in Star Trek. And I can't remember what his name was. Writers are a dying breed in Hollywood. Yeah, they are. Well, the biggest problem these days, Kenneth, is that writers back in the day were writers who had real life experience with stuff. Writers today are a bunch of fanfic people who had fanfic Redditors
who have never stepped outside their house and actually experienced a moment of real life. And all they see is online, and all they experience is the discourse in their own servers. And that's the problem, is they never step outside of their bubble to actually experience anything in the real world. And it's kind of sad. It's really kind of sad. But, here's the positive. Here's the positive that comes out of that. The cycle will only last so long because people really, truly, and I believe in people. I believe in people. People really, truly desire good writing, good entertainment, good video games, good things in the world. And we'll put up with a lot, but at a certain point, we stop putting up with it and we just stop supporting it. And at that point, the almighty dollar speaks, and they either have to listen or go broke. And there's no two ways about it. I mean, other than a occasional, classic T-shirt for Doctor Who, I haven't bought any Doctor Who merchandise in probably a decade. Like any real, I mean, I used to buy Doctor Who figures. I used to buy Doctor Who T-shirts, mugs. I used to buy Doctor Who decals to put on my things. I used to buy Doctor Who keychains. I used to buy Doctor Who tchotchkes all the time. Other than an occasional, classic T-shirt, I haven't bought anything Doctor Who in ages. I don't care. Same thing with Star Wars. Other than a vintage T-shirt, and I'll usually find those at a thrift store. I haven't bought any Doctor Who stuff or Star Wars stuff in a long time. And yeah, I'm just one guy. I mean, they aren't going to die because my $100 isn't coming towards them. But when there's 1 million of us, or a couple 100,000 of us, or even 20, 30,000 of us, it makes a difference. Doctor Who TARDIS floor mat. Ooh, I would have loved that back in the day. I wouldn't buy one now though. That would be goated. That would be awesome. I would love something like that. All right. Well, I've rambled on a lot. All the people playing Helldivers 2 that stopped playing and tanked reviews because Sony tried to force PC players to have a PSN account. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is that these companies have to realize that ultimately we are the customers. And we as customers have started to wake up and go, hey, we are the customers. The customer is right in most instances. The customer may not be always right, but the customer is always correct in what they appreciate and they don't appreciate, because that's their personal preference. And if a majority of customers are not appreciating something, they're going to stop supporting it. And the thing is that the goodwill they've had for a decade of us going, well, the next thing is going to be better. This is just one bad thing. See, I think that's the thing that a lot of us fans fell into, is that over the years, there would be good Star Trek, bad Star Trek. There'd be good just sci-fi. There'd be bad sci-fi. There'd be, and it'd kind of go up and down and up and down. And we'd be like, okay, this wasn't the greatest thing. Marvel movies are a great example of it. During the Marvel era, the 10 years of good Marvel stuff, of generally what I think people look back on and say this was good Marvel, up through Endgame, there were good Marvel movies, and then there was Iron Man 3. But we were like, okay, that wasn't so good. The next thing will probably be better. And so we'd have hope that the next thing they would make would be better. And so we'd kind of go along with a bad one every once in a while, because honestly, most of us who grew up with sci-fi and fantasy back in the 80s and 90s, low budget, not great special effects, but the stories were decent. So we dealt with it. And so we were pretty forgiving when it came to things that weren't completely perfect. But that goodwill can only last for so long until you start realizing that they hate you, that they don't like you anymore, that they blame you when the thing fails instead of looking inwards to themselves and going, hey, we made something that's a piece of crap, and that's why they don't like it. So we aren't going to try to improve. We're just going to put out more crap and then blame them if it doesn't succeed. And that can only go on so long before we just start going, yeah, we just don't care anymore. And we're not going to buy your stuff anymore. So get stuffed. Get stuffed. We aren't going to do it any longer. We just are done. And it's not even that we rebel and we just hate it, or we don't even hate it anymore. I don't hate Star Wars. I'm just apathetic towards Star Wars. I just don't care. I mean, I heard Andor was great. I don't really care. I don't give a crap. I don't get excited. I don't feel what I felt in my 20s or my 30s about Star Wars coming out. Even though I was not a big fan of the prequels, I was excited for each prequel that came out. Even though I wasn't a big fan of them, I was excited when Attack of the Clones came out. I was excited when Revenge of the Sith came out. And that's the thing is, like, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of them, and I was like, yeah, I got problems with them. They're kind of long-winded, and they got a lot of politics stuff in them, and just to me, they're just kind of boring. I was excited. That excitement is just kind of like apathy now, and that's the worst thing. When your fans become apathetic, that's when you're probably not going to get them back. That's a fan that you've lost forever, and it's not that fan's fault. These companies got to get it through their head. You do not have a right to my fandom. You do not have a right to expect me to appreciate everything you make. You have the privilege of having me as a fan and everybody else is a fan, and you need to work towards showing that appreciation towards the fandom by giving them what they want. I mean, you look at a guy like Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is like one of the GOATs. He is a huge nerd, a huge fan of all things nerdom. 40K, Warhammer 40K, The Witcher, all this stuff. And you can see it in the passion he has. That's why when he quit the Witcher show, that show is dead. That show is DOA. He was doing the best he could, even though Season 2 and 3, especially 3, were pretty much hot garbage. I watched them because of Henry Cavill. I watched them because he was in them, and he was trying his best, and I appreciated him. I have no interest in watching Witcher Season 4 at all. Once he was out of that show's dead to me. I just have no interest in it anymore. I have no interest in it anymore. It just doesn't. I stuck with it through Season 2 and 3. Just because of Henry Cavill. Because I know for a fact that he cares about the material, that he cares about it as much as I do. I feel that he does. And I don't feel that Lauren Hestrich does. Lauren Hestrich feels that she should make it however she wants to make it because she's the most important thing in the room. It sort of goes back, and this winds us all the way back to our very beginning of all this conversation. It sort of goes back to Judge Dredd. When Dredd came out, the actor in that realized, his name just slips my mind right. His name slipped my mind for the moment because all I can think of is stupid Sylvester Stallone. But he honors the character, and he wants to play the character to the best of his ability, and he does. And it makes that character stand out. The character is the most important thing, not him. In Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, the whole thing revolves around Sylvester Stallone showboating, and it's got Judge Dredd in the background. And that's the difference. I mean, it's the difference between the actor or the producer, whoever it is, putting the material first and trying to make it the most important thing, or putting themselves first. And I think that boils down to a lot of Hollywood right now. Hollywood is a very narcissistic circle jerk where they all just pat themselves on the back and tell themselves they're all wonderful, and that with positive, what's that word? It's positive toxicity. With positive toxicity, they basically ruin everything. because nobody has the balls to tell them this isn't that good, because they all want to be part of the same club. They all want to pretend that they're all doing the same thing, that they're all great. Instead of actually looking at themselves and going, yeah, this wasn't so great. It was kind of shite. It was kind of garbage. It's kind of hot garbage. Probably should look at doing something different. Clone Wars animated was favorite part of the new Star Wars. I've watched a little bit of the Clone Wars. My son was really into Clone Wars, and he absolutely loves it. He absolutely loves the Clone Wars. For him, that's just the greatest thing. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They also go with Shror is they go with the member berries. That's why they do that in Picard. It's all about member berries. It's like, you remember Next Generation, how great it was? You remember Picard? You remember Worf? Do you remember Riker? Oh, well, here they are. Look at it. Oh, you remember Data? Oh, yeah. You remember this? You remember that? Instead of making something good. I mean, Star Trek Next Generation is a perfect example. I mean, really, let's be honest. The first season of Star Trek Next Generation is kind of hot garbage. It's not that great. But, it's good enough. And compared to stuff they're putting out today, it's a freaking masterpiece. But Next Generation got its legs under it. Riker grew a beard, and the show became really good. They got rid of Wesley, and the show became decent. I mean, it worked itself out, but they were working with brand new stuff too. They were coming up with their own ideas. They were coming up with their own stuff. But also, you got to remember too, Gene Roddenberry was still alive. Gene Roddenberry still had a big hand in it. The unfortunate thing is that Star Trek now is in much less capable hands and much less capable writers and much less capable people than it used to be. That's just God honest facts. There's no two ways about it. It's just not. It's not, and I don't think it ever will be what it was before. Possibly down the road. I think the closest thing that's been a Star Trek, the best thing that's been a Star Trek is Orville. The Orville is the closest Star Trek thing that's not Star Trek that's been around. Same thing with Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest was one of the best Star Trek non-Star Trek movies ever. I mean, it was really good. Really, really good. It's nostalgia in Picard, but I liked it. Don't object. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, I heard a lot of people didn't object to it being nostalgia. I just personally think that, the actor's getting a little old. He's getting a little old to play Picard at this point. I'm not ageist or anything, but he's getting a little old. It's like what are they gonna do? They're gonna start having walker races. They're gonna have a wheelchair race in Star Trek pretty soon. They're gonna Captain Pike him up. He'll be like Captain Pike pretty soon. First season Next Gen was really hard, but back in the day they had the time to build the characters. Not so today. 5 episodes and gets an axe. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is back then TV shows were done in a different way. Nowadays, TV shows, it's so goofy with TV shows. Well, it's also because they've become so damn expensive to make because all the actors want to get paid exorbitant amounts to be on a TV show. Back in the day, TV shows were like 24, 36 episodes per year, per season. Now we're lucky to get 9 or 10 episodes per season. You look at early seasons of Next Generation, it's like 24 freaking episodes. They're pumping them out like crazy. So, yeah, it's, and most of them are interchangeable. You can watch the 8th episode, and then the 12th episode, then the 4th episode, then the 19th episode. You can watch them in pretty much any order, and they're not serialized in any real way. There is a little bit of serialization that goes on later in Next Generation, but generally the Next Gen episodes, other than like some of the 2-parters and stuff like that, You can pretty much watch them in any order. It doesn't really matter, which I think is kind of nice. Wish Riker got his own series. Riker would have been a great series. I think it really would. I think you're right there. Riker would have been a really good one. All right. Well, I'm just pontificating on TV shows now, just kind of killing some time. But we'll be back. We got 7 days left. 7 days left in Hush River Valley. Tomorrow when we play Long Dark, we are going to be leaving Hush River Valley. We have, let's see, we have 559 days survived so far. 559 days. We have Broken Railroad left. That's the last zone we have left before we go into the far territory, which I'm looking forward to. And by the way, once we get to the far territory, we will be doing the quests. We'll be doing the Signal Void quest. So we'll be spending our 50 days in Hush River, getting the radio transmitter. We will then, after we get our 50 days in Hush River done, we're going to go back through the zones and get the bunkers in Bleak Inlet, Pleasant Valley, Hush River Valley, then go back to Forsaken Airfield, finish the Signal Void quest, and then move on to Zone of Contamination. We'll probably just go through the cave that goes between Forsaken Airfield and Zone of Contamination to do that. But yeah, that's our plan. Actually, Anna, I'm going to be ending the stream here altogether. I'm ending the stream here today because I'm going to go over and pick my son up, and we're going to go play games tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to do some Long Dark and some 7 Days to Die. Friday we're doing Long Dark, and we're going to do some more Star Rapture because I really enjoyed that. We're going to try that out a little bit more. And then on Saturday, we're going to do a little more Mugenics. And Sunday, we're going to be finishing up Subnautica. And then going forward on Sundays, we're going to play a little game that some of you have probably never, ever seen. Some of you will have never seen the game I'm going to start playing on Sunday. It's a game I've played over the years. I really enjoy it. It's an early access. It's a fun game. I like it a lot. It's come a long, long ways. We've put up with, we've put up with a lot of it through the years, but it's a little game called Escape the Pacific. And Escape the Pacific is a water-based game where you travel from island to island with very few supplies. You can craft buildings in it. You can craft supplies in it. You can even craft a raft and sail to another cluster of islands. And eventually your goal in the game will be to get rescued, but they don't have that in the game yet. But the game's developed quite a bit. I'm curious to see where it's at now. We haven't played it. I don't think I've played Escape the Pacific now in probably over a year. I would think. I haven't played it since April of 2024. April of 2024 is the last time I played it. So yeah, and they actually just put out a huge update for it. The small, it's got a very small development team. It's like 3 people. It used to be 1 guy, and now he's got a couple people helping him. But I've actually talked to the creator of the game before. He's actually come into stream before and explained stuff for us. I think one of the most impressive things I ever had happen with him was he was in stream. We were playing Escape the Pacific. He was talking about stuff with us about the game. We ran into a glitch in the game. He said, "Hold on just a second. I'll be right back." Came back like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. He said, "Hey, restart your game. That glitch should be fixed." We restarted the game. The glitch was fixed. I was like, you got to be joking me. It was awesome. It was so fun. But hey, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with me for our sci-fi discussion, as well as our little rant on sci-fi and the state of broadcast media these days. YouTubers, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you all tomorrow. I do have a dental appointment at 10 tomorrow, so I'll probably get back home, I'm guessing, by about 11:30 or noon. So I'll probably start streaming right about noon tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a full day of streaming. We'll have Long Dark. We'll have 7 Days to Die. So we'll have a full day of streaming tomorrow, full day of streaming on Friday, as well with Long Dark and Star Rapture. And like I said, we'll play a little bit of Mugenics on Saturday. So that'll be fun. And Subnautica Sunday. So we got a full next 4 days planned out. So YouTubers, I'll see y'all later. Have a great one. Bye. And for those of you here on Twitch, let's go find somebody